and the Rams at 13.1. I would probably say the Rams and the Colts. I mean, that's what I would think, because they need players. I think they need players. But that's it for this edition of Audibles. It's our last one.
Till next year.
Till next year. For Trent, Jerry, the GOAT, Coach Herm Edwards, Keyshawn Johnson. Stay tuned right here on ESPN for ASU, which is Arizona State, against Boise State. Deuces.
Don't hate the player.
Stop it.
Hate the dome.
So that means we'll be back.
Yeah, we will be back.
You're watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Las Vegas, a magnet for millions who come here seeking fun, fantasy, and fortune. But tonight it's about finishing strong. Kellen Moore back in the field where he became college football's all-time winner, seeks an incredible 50th win as Boise State starter, part of a strong senior class that say they are inspired to be here despite the BCS snub. And for Dennis Erickson, he'd love to finish strong after an 0 for November that cost his team a chance at the Rose Bowl and cost this veteran his job. The Silver Fox in the mosh pit, the Sun Devils who are saying the right things, but will they in fact show up? We'll all find out together. Beautiful winter's evening here in Las Vegas as we welcome you to the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas. Part of ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week. Just like last year, plenty of Boise State orange and blue inside Stan Boyd Stadium. The Broncos with a BCS ranking of #7, just a single loss on the season, taking on the 6-6 Sun Devils of Arizona State. Happy holidays from Vegas. Chris Fowler, good to be back with you in the booth, my friend. Kirk Herbstreit. We'll talk about the topic of motivation tonight. And we'll also say goodbye, Kirk, to a couple of figures who made a big impact in college football over the last 4 decades. Dennis Erickson, and the last 4 seasons, Kellen Moore.
Well, Kellen Moore has been an amazing quarterback, obviously, for Boise these last few years. His leadership, the way he's really gone about carrying himself as a quarterback of his team. Chris, the thing that stands out is what you just said. He's going for his 50th win tonight, to potentially go 50-3 in his career. And it's the way he's been able, again, to be able to read defenses, make quick decisions, and again, watch his accuracy tonight against this Arizona State defense.
14,000 plus yards in his amazing career, so many school records. Second, historically, to Case Keenum of Houston in touchdown passes. Somehow, despite the great stats, only finished 8th in the Heisman Trophy voting this season after being 4th a year ago.
Well, I think tonight the big challenge for Arizona State is their secondary has been a bit depleted this year. They're especially at the corner spot. Not a good problem to have when you go up against Kellen Moore. I think they're going to have to take some chances. I think they're going to try to stop the running game first and then see if they can somehow get pressure and try to unravel a bit Kellen Moore. Tough to do. Not many people have been able to do that in 4 years.
Yeah, it's an ASU team that's missing 5 DBs in preseason. And missing tonight, Jamal Miles is their playmaker as a returner, a receiver, and a runner. He's home sorting out a personal situation. And Dennis Erickson saying his team's emotional. The Sun Devils are saying the right things.
They are. They were 6-2 at one point, and it looked like they were going to represent the Pac-12 South in the Pac-12 championship game, and they lost their last 4, and then all of a sudden Dennis Erickson gets fired. So at one point they're 6-2, flying high, feeling good about who they are. They have talent. There's no question about that tonight. For me, it's where is Dennis Erickson's team, their mindset. Are they excited to be here tonight? And when they face adversity, something that's caused problems for them the last 4 games, how will they handle that tonight in this bowl game?
They've got a big senior group, too. They're emotional, they say. Dennis Erickson's mom is here. And let's go down to the field now to Tom Rinaldi and get a word with the coach.
Thanks very much, Chris. Dennis just led your team out on the field here for the final time at Arizona State. It's been an emotional week. What was the experience like for you in the locker room?
It's been hard. It's been a hard week, actually a hard 3 weeks. But you know, our players are ready to play. We've practiced well, very emotional in there, and we'll see what happens. It's still a football game.
You have a roster of players who essentially have never played in a bowl game. Dennis, how do you know they're ready?
I just can get a pretty good feel of this team. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, the game goes. We're playing a great football team tonight, as we all know. So we just got to play with it ourselves and play hard and tackle and do the things we need to do.
Good luck and enjoy it, Dennis. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tom, thank you. A little misty in the old guy's eyes as he hopes his Arizona State Sun Devils can go out on a high note and somehow stop Kellen Moore. Mako Bowl, Las Vegas coming up.
Gildan. For years, we've been in your wardrobe, worn for memorable events and as a go-to for the good times. Now you can bring our basics home to your family from stores everywhere. So whether you're sharing the things you do well, taking comfort in what's familiar, or taking a moment for yourself, remember, at the end of the day, it's the basics in life that matter. Gildan. Activewear, underwear, socks. Better quality basic apparel for the entire family. Gildan. Part of your life.
That's a word?
A ragpole. It's another word for sack.
All right. Read 'em and wheat.
Impressive. How about this?
Neanderthal? Brian, your words are hurtful.
Okay.
I'm taking the bus, and you will not see me at the pancake social tomorrow.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Today is that day. It's the day that I have always dreamed of forever. When you call me the champ of the world.
Bowl games, if you follow the trend, have been close. All but one decided by 10 points or less. See if we get that tonight here in Las Vegas. Arizona State won the toss, deferred to the second half, and Chris Peterson and Kellen Moore-led offense will take the field first. On a windy night, the wind is blowing from left to right. We saw Kellen Moore trying to deal with that, throwing into it in the pregame warm-up.
Yeah, we did.
Could be a factor.
Yeah, it could be. It's been blowing all day today in Las Vegas, and watching him throw, he and both quarterbacks were able to handle the wind pretty good. We'll see how it affects the game.
Freshman Alex Garrett kicks it off for Arizona State, and Doug Martin, the senior tailback, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Breaking free, and Doug Martin across midfield in a foot race. Escapes and puts the Broncos on top instantly. Moore says, I like it. Don't even have to take the field, and we get the lead. Well, Martin, when he's healthy, Kirk, as you know, a very dangerous weapon as a runner and a returner.
Yeah, he missed a TCU game, the only loss that Boise State had, but he gets some great blocks. I mean, this is the way Boise State wanted to set the tone. He also shows the physicality, being able to run out of that arm tackle, and then again, another broken tackle, and then the speed at the end to take it all the way to the house.
Michael Frisina for the extra point. And extra points have been a problem for the Broncos this season, and their opponents for that matter. Now, we wondered how Arizona State would react to the first sign of adversity. Kirk waited 14 seconds to get behind in the game.
Well, that's the thing. Kellen Moore, you said it, Chris, he's pretty fired up. Jumping on the coach. I mean, he's thinking 49-3, trying to get to number 50. I get 7 before I even get out on the field.
Nightmarish start for Dennis Erickson, and it goes to show you emotion is great in the locker room. Players say the right things, but now, right at this point, they have to show that they care. They have to show they want.
Absolutely. It's one thing to be emotional and to want to go out and play well for Dennis Erickson. But where was that rallying call in the month of November? Again, let's remind people, this is an Arizona State team that was 6-2, controlling their own destiny to get to the inaugural Pac-12 championship game and have a chance to play Oregon. They lost 4 straight, and in 4 straight games, they had a chance to win them, and they weren't able to deliver. And now their first game after that, they give up a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Talked about the 0 for November. They lost 3 ball games to teams whose coaches were let go. They were not losing to Murderers Row in November.
No, at all. Not at all. They were actually better than the teams that they played physically.
It's a Mako Bowl Las Vegas record kickoff return for Doug Martin. Officially 100 yards. Now we'll see if Osweiler, big 6'8" quarterback for the Sun Devils, can answer. Kickoff taken out of bounds. This is where Jamal Miles would have been expected to make a big impact as a returner for the Sun Devils, but again, he's not here. Of course, the latest kicking miscue gives Osweiler great field position at the 40.
Yeah, and Osweiler's had a great
Kick
year.
out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
Osweiler's had a great year. He'll take advantage of this. We'll see if he can take advantage of this great field position. But 6'8", 240 pounds. You can see the tallest quarterback this year to play college football. But the thing that I love is his ability to read these defenses, and he loves to throw the ball vertically downfield, and he's got a couple tall receivers that he likes to throw the ball to.
3 receivers bunched to the short side of the field. This is a Bronco defense that was suffocating in this bowl game a year ago as they dominated Utah. They fake it to Marshall. Osweiler looking downfield, throws into traffic, and it's broken up. Defensive play made by Cedric Phoebus, the safety. Impact players, Cameron Marshall, when he is healthy, as HTC brings you a look, and he is healthy in this game.
And he's going to have to run the football tonight, take some of the pressure off of Osweiler. And they've got some big receivers we talked about. Jarrell Robinson leads the crew. He's 6'4", about 220 pounds, and can get downfield against the smaller defensive backs against Boise State.
Play action, Osweiler rolls and flips it off in the flat. Almost dropped. It is collected, taking a huge hit is Trevor Cole, the tight end, after about a 7-yard gain.
That was a big hit by a freshman there to come in to finish that play. One thing about Boise State is they are not just a bunch of guys out there scrapping around. They will lay the lumber. That's a true freshman, Lee Hightower, who's a corner who came in there.
Giving away 60 pounds to the man that he hit.
It hit him low. They're going to fall.
It was
Doesn't
Cole
matter.
who stepped out of the game.
Exactly.
So it's 3rd and 4. Call him Coach K, broadcasting the defensive coordinator for Peterson. It's Marshall and Kyle Middlebrooks. He'll try to pick up the slack for Miles, and a timeout from Osweiler.
Timeout.
Broncos defense that, much like the offense, likes to confuse their opponents. He does a good job. So a quick break. Erickson and the Sun Devils in an early hole.
The markets never stop moving. Of course, neither do I.
Solution? TD Ameritrade Mobile Trader.
I can enter trades on the run.
Even futures and Forex.
Complex options, done.
The market shifts, I get an alert. Thank you.
Live streaming audio.
Advanced charts.
Look at that. All right here. Wherever here happens to be.
Mobile trading from TD Ameritrade. #1 in online equity trades.
Trade commission-free for 60 days. Plus, get up to $600 when you open an account.
As my world turns, the heartbeats, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
You ready for your present?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sometimes the giving can be just as amazing as the gift.
What do you think?
The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, but only for a limited time. See your Lexus dealer for exclusive lease offers on the 2012 CT200H. And as a gift from Lexus, we'll make your first month's payment.
Guess Seductive Armor, the new fragrance for men. Give the gift of seduction with the Guess Holiday Gift Set, available at Macy's, your fragrance destination.
It's the most wonderful week of the year. Capital One Bowl Week continues Thursday, December 29th at 5:30 with the Champ Sports Bowl. Then at 9, it's the Valero Alamo Bowl on ESPN.
Welcome to the 2011 Mako Bowl, Las Vegas.
Yeah, Ken, I'm really looking forward to this game.
You know, Dave, Mako Collision Centers paint and repair more cars than any other collision shop. And I'll bet we see some great collisions today.
Both these teams had great seasons. Let's welcome the Arizona State Sun Devils.
And the Boise State Broncos.
On behalf of the over 500 Mako franchisees, congratulations to these two great teams. Thanks for watching. Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Arizona State facing a 3rd and 4 as they try to answer the opening kickoff return for a touchdown by the Broncos' Doug Martin. Jamar Taylor is back at corner. That's a difference maker for the Broncos. He's number 5, and he is their best DB. Back healthy tonight. Pflugrad in motion. Osweiler looking left, flips it out in the flat, and it's caught by Middlebrooks, who's got a first down. So Middlebrooks, who's filling that Jamal Miles role, catches a similar route.
And it was a great read here by Osweiler to get the ball out quickly on third down. They blitzed, they left the zone to the left there, the quarterback open. He makes a nice quick throw and an accurate throw so Middlebrooks can get upfield and pick up the first down. And after giving up that kickoff return, that was a very important first down for Osweiler.
See the quicks for Middlebrooks, who's just 175 pounds. Osweiler bobbles the snap. You can see the big guy moves pretty well. He covers ground quickly with those long strides.
If you haven't seen him play much, you'll be surprised by how well he'll move. For being 6'8", 240, he gets tired of being talked about as a former basketball player. He had a full scholarship ride offer to Gonzaga, but he is a guy who can move around laterally. This time he makes makes something out of nothing there to give him a manageable 2nd and 5.
Again, Figgins. Now Marshall's got the ball. His first carry of the night. The man who ran for 18 touchdowns this season. That's more rushing touchdowns than 7 Pac-12 teams have.
And he's very, very important tonight. Even though you look at their numbers, and Osweiler in the passing game seems to dominate against this Boise State defense that has a great, I mean great defensive line. Osweiler needs Marshall to be able to get on track enough to make this Boise State defensive line have to respect that aspect so they don't just pin their ears back.
They need 4 on third down. Osweiler pressured, but flips it out behind Marshall, who makes a terrific catch, but then loses yardage as George Iloka popped him.
Well, keep an eye on George Iloka there coming off the field. He definitely looks the part. And Boise State, sometimes they will hit you and they're not worried at all about the consequences. Iloka is really one of the more valuable players on this defense. He's a safety. They had to move him to corner late in the year because of some injuries. And this time he steps up big on third down. Pretty good effort there by Marshall to make the catch.
Hubner to punt. It's kind of a sand wedge. Potter steps up and takes a fair catch at the 12-yard line. Saturday night on ESPN, Capital One Bowl week continues with the Sheridan Hawaii Bowl. Chance to see the Southern Mississippi team. Austin Davis went into Houston and broke the Cougars' hearts, knocked their BCS dreams apart against Nevada, 8 o'clock Eastern time from the islands. Here comes Gillimore, his first series, Kirk. Now great field position. See if he goes to work immediately in this vulnerable ASU secondary. Martin scored the touchdown on the kickoff return. Is one of our impact players, brought to you by HTC.
Yeah, well, we already saw what an impact he can have in special teams, but of course when they run the football, now that he is healthy, he's a great complement to what Kellen Moore in the passing game does. And Tyler Shoemaker stepped up. Everybody was concerned early this year what was going to happen without Austin Pettis and Titus Young, and this offense changed their style, weren't quite as explosive, but Shoemaker obviously the go-to guy with 15 touchdowns on the year.
Second down, they flip it inside. Catch made and blockers in front. Boldevine, the speedster from the Netherlands, into Arizona State territory. And Floyd stopped him. You can see how Moore is so brilliant at spreading the ball.
How about the right guard, Chuck Hayes, leading the way downfield? I mean, this is an outstanding effort. 55 right in the middle of your screen. In fact, he's got a few linemen that are trying to keep up with him, but it's only Hayes. Look at the lineman. He's downfield trying to pick up a block 40 yards downfield. I love that.
44-yard gain for the Dutchman. This is Martin. Sunday will stop him.
Big concern tonight for Arizona State. There's been a lot of talk about Vontez Burfict. You know, he didn't play much in the Cal game late. They had to bench him. Beginning of the year, he's one of their star players, one of the top players in all of college football. They've had some issues with him, with freelancing a bit on defense. So he's not starting tonight. Arizona State's going to play a lot of nickel, which will keep him on the bench. They're playing with 5 defensive backs, and for now, Burfict on the bench on the sideline.
I'm not looking too happy about it. Moore on 2nd and 9, flips it short. Pitch made by Matt Miller, the freshman who's had such a big year. Made an immediate impact, Miller did. And there you see Perfect, a very controversial figure. Arizona State fans well aware of his issues on and off the field. Many feel this will be his last game because the junior just not enjoying being in Tempe anymore. And even though his draft stock has plummeted.
Yeah, I mean, he was viewed by many as one of the top defensive players in the country coming into the season. Has not had a great year, has had a lot of personal foul penalties, and finally Arizona State, Dennis Erickson said it's enough's enough, and they've kept him on the sidelines.
On third down, Moore looks in the direction of Shoemaker, his third down weapon, but it's incomplete. So after giving up the big play, Sun Devils defense holds. Colin Parker, the linebacker, in coverage.
Yeah, this is usually a play that Shoemaker will make, but it's at least it's 3rd and 6. Third down and 6. They don't get a ton of pressure. Looked like Shoemaker kind of short-armed the effort there instead of reaching out to get that football. Maybe felt a little bit of pressure there from the Arizona State defense.
Team that's gone for it on fourth down 23 times this year and made 14 of them. Goes for it on 4th and 6. Empty backfield, and Moore, drop back and just kind of pooches it. And even does a pretty good job with that as he rolls out the 10-yard line.
He does it all.
Surprised he didn't run a play there?
I thought, with the way they've been able to jump on top of Arizona State, maybe try to really jump out to the big lead. But instead, they pin Arizona State back.
24 yards on the pooch. Osweiler takes over at his 11 when you come back.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Mako for quality repairs at great prices.
Mako fixes cars? The same Mako that painted my old Nissan?
Mako makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Mako saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Mako is 33% less. Mako for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your better get Mako.
One more gift.
If you're giving an amazing gift, shouldn't it be given in an amazing way? The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, but only for a limited time. See your Lexus dealer for exclusive lease offers on the 2012 ES350. And as a gift from Lexus, we'll make your first month's payment.
Can't stop me, no, you can't stop me. Can't stop me, no.
You want to save money on car insurance? No problem. You want to save money on RV insurance? No problem. You want to save money on motorcycle insurance? No problem. You want to find a place to park all these things? Forget about it. This is New York.
Hey, little guy, wake up!
Oh, come off it, Mike.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Talk about easy. I just ordered this laptop online. Now I'm picking it up right here.
Looks like Santa's got some competition this year, huh? Yes, he does.
Ho, ho, ho.
Shop BestBuy.com and get free shipping on everything. Or pick it up at any store the same day. And right now, get $150 off select Samsung laptops at Best Buy.
ESPN College Football, the Mako Bowl Las Vegas, is brought to you by Mako. Mako Collision Repair and Auto Painting Centers repair and paint more cars than anyone. Better get Mako. Las Vegas. Ring in 2012 in Las Vegas. Enjoy fireworks, dining, nightlife, and more. Only Vegas. And the Lexus December to Remember sales event for a limited time at your Lexus dealer.
300 children from disadvantaged backgrounds from the Las Vegas area able to get shoes, socks, and other supplies. The Goody Two Shoes Foundation event held outside Sam Boyd Stadium earlier today with the help of the Broncos and the Sun Devils. So Chris Peterson, Kirk chooses not to go for it on fourth down. Pooch punts it with Moore, and now Osweiler backed up at the 11. Marshall. Boy, it is tough to run on the interior wall of the Broncos. 4 senior starters up there. Erickson being replaced by Todd Graham. Comes from Pittsburgh. Pit stop there, no pun intended, after being in Tulsa. And he'll take over. He had a meeting with the players, quick meeting with Erickson, Dennis said, and word is he's going to lay down some rules, more restrictions on things like jewelry.
Dancing on the field before the game.
Marshall tries to cut it back, but again, great penetration up front by Shea McClellan. One of the seniors who make it so tough to run on this group.
It's not just how physical these guys are, it's how they run to the football. I mean, you have experience up front, Billy Wynn in the middle, Chase Baker in the middle, Tyrone Crawford on one side, Shea McClellan on the other, and this group sets the tone for the defense. But Chris, you and I are looking at some tape, even talking about it today, how fast they run to the football and the effort that they play with is what makes these coaches so happy.
They rush only 4 on 3rd and 7. Osweiler gets it out, almost picked off and then almost caught by Pflugrad. That was Hightower, the true freshman, defending. But the Broncos, who forced more 3-and-outs than any defense in the country, do so again.
Boy, he really did a good job on jumping this route. Again, Lee Hightower has been active so far in the first few series. He's a true freshman. He was physical in run support. This time he reads the route, almost gets around Pflugrad to be able to make the interception, sitting back in zone. He's sitting back in zone and comes up quickly by reading the route of Pflugrad and almost stepped in front of that for a touchdown.
Josh Hubner in his end zone. Mitch Burrows waiting, calling for a fair catch at his 45-yard line. So Peterson chooses to play field position, gets the 3-and-out, and Moore will take over at his 45. Todd Graham, passing offense, known for that. Wasn't a completely successful year at Pitt, but after a very interesting search, when June Jones was offered the job, was taken back, they settled on Graham to lead this program.
Well, he has had some success, and he'll get an opportunity to take over a program with, a lot of people believe, a ton of potential with the resources and the location, able to recruit into the area of Tempe, and we'll see how he's able to do there.
This is Martin on the deep handoff. Finds room to the right. And picks up about 10. Paul Christ, by the way, named to replace Graham at Pittsburgh today, former offensive coordinator for Wisconsin.
And things are never pretty when you go from being a head coach in one position and you go to another. And I'm sure if Coach Graham had a chance to do it over, he probably would love to set the circumstances up a little bit differently.
This is Martin breaking a tackle, and Martin getting loose as the Broncos go up-tempo and pick up chunks of yardage.
And the up-tempo, you see it a lot in college football. It stresses the defense. It gets the defense back on its heels. And when you go up against Kellen Moore, who's basically an offensive coordinator playing quarterback, not only is he quick to make calls, he's going to make good decisions, and he's going to be balanced here with the run and the pass.
Flip it out near side to Burrows. The sandwich of flag is down as Burrows did pick up yardage. Check and see if Clint Floyd was held there with Shoemaker out blocking on the edge.
Yeah, they threw it right at him, right in front of the official.
So rough start for Shoemaker, who had the drop. And now the penalty. ACC crew led by Dave Epperly.
Holding. Offense. Number 89. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. Second down.
Shoemaker, the leading receiver, a guy who came in with Kellen Moore. Had to wait his turn while guys like Austin Pettis and Titus Young were the featured receivers, but he's had a very productive senior year.
Absolutely. 15 touchdown receptions on the year, new school record, and really has stepped up to become the leader of that group.
Moore across the middle of Burrows again, and they get back near the first down marker at the 33. Carr drives him out of bounds and an injury on the Arizona State defense. This is Carl Bradford, the defensive end. This is a defense that's just been racked by injuries. And already Junior Anyeli, the sophomore defensive end, left home for disciplinary reasons. Can't afford any more injuries.
No, they can't. And what they're facing right now, you know, it's beyond just what Kellen Moore brings to the table. It's the up-tempo, the ability to have an unbalanced attack. They show a ton of different formations. So here's a team that's lost 4 in a row, their head coach has been fired. You wonder if they're fired up and ready to play. It's another thing to be prepared with Craig Bray as a defensive coordinator to get them to be dialed in to all these different tendencies and different keys that they're going to see. This is not just like preparing for any kind of offense. So with all the distractions, now they've got to get ready to face this kind of offense. It makes it very tough.
See Bradford sitting up now. You're right, though. Facing Moore can be so demoralizing because he can confuse the defense. He's so hard to get to. You can't really pressure him, and when you do, he just eats you alive. There it is, Craig Bray, one of the coaches on Erickson's staff, who's wondering about his future as a staff trying to prepare for a game, wondering where their next stop's going to be.
And you've got two coaches that are coaching tonight who have already accepted positions to be a part of Jim Moore Jr.'s staff at UCLA.
Zoni was the play caller for Arizona State, and Steve Broussard, who is going to be brought in to help Moore recruit at Westwood. So first down, and play action. Moore flips it off in the flat. This is DJ Harper, and a good open field tackle made by Floyd. So a loss of about 3.
You and I have watched a lot of Boise State over the years and since Kellen Moore has been a quarterback. One thing I've noticed this year about them is without Titus Young and Austin Pettis, what they do a lot of is they'll kind of lull you to sleep. They'll spread the ball around with some short, intermediate throws. They'll try to get those safeties out of position, and then they'll hit you with a double move, and they'll be able to hit you for the big play.
This is Doug Martin at the top of the formation, but Moore looks the other way. It's dropped just a little bit behind Burrows. But very catchable.
It was actually, and again, this is a big part of their offense, that backside fade where he throws it into a hole away from the safety. He is trying to time that up to give just his receiver a chance to make the play. You'll see that the safety's sitting there. If he leads him downfield, he's got a problem. And that's one that Kellen Moore, they practice that over and over and over and again. They've had a lot of success with that.
I don't see him show that degree of frustration that often. But that's a couple of drops in the early going. So 3rd and 12. Some double show pressure, and they bring an extra man. And Moore does what he does so often when he faces the blitz. Find the open guy, and it's Mitch Burrows for a first down.
And when people are evaluating Kellen Moore to go to the next level, here's an example throwing it from the left hash, the college left hash, all the way to the right sideline, and he anticipates and throws the ball before his receiver even comes out of his break. Now, the thing that NFL scouts are going to look at is the arm strength. It's not quite the same kind of arm strength that you'll see from the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. That ball had a little bit of an arc there.
This is Martin setting it back. And he is throwing into the wind this direction, although even with the wind, he's not going to have quite a typical arm strength.
But what I love is the way he anticipates. I mean, at the college level, there aren't a lot of guys that have that kind of chemistry between a quarterback and the wide receiver. And it's very interesting that he lost Austin Pettis and Titus Young, and he's been able to develop that same chemistry with a new group of wide receivers. He threw that, and his receivers' back of his helmet was facing Moore.
Moore looks to the end zone and has a man wide open, and it's Shoemaker. As the Sun Devils defense was confused by that 5-receiver formation, easy pickings.
That was, again, this is part of Boise State's offense. They like to mix up some things. They like to try to show you different personnel groupings. That time, and we'll take another look at it, but they moved their right tackle, Charles Leno Jr., out to the left as a wide receiver. I think it caused a little confusion. His wife is
Julie of the blonde hair.
Very excited.
Standing next to his dad, coach in high school. So Moore builds the lead, 14-0. Adversity for Osweiler and company.
The 2012 Rose Bowl game, January 2nd on ESPN.
It was a classic Vegas night. We dropped our bags in the suite. We caught the game at Legacy Stadium. We had dinner at Twist. Then we hit the town. Things got a little crazy. One thing led to another, and the next day, Steve tagged me in a photo from the Gold Lounge. It was a blatant violation of the code. So I did the right thing, and I reported him. Don't be that guy.
Report friends and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
With a new view of the market, you could see an investment opportunity you didn't see before. Fidelity's next-generation iPad app lets you see what's trending around the world, as well as what over 1 million Fidelity customers are trading throughout the day. And advanced charting lets you customize your views and set up your own comparisons. Our iPad app can help refine your strategy or even find a new one. I'm Valia Carboni, and I help create Fidelity's next-generation iPad app. It's one more innovative reason serious investors are choosing Fidelity.
Open an account today and get a $500 Apple gift card.
We had 2 tiny reasons to get our ADT security system.
And one really big reason, the house next door. Our neighbor's house was broken into. Luckily, her family wasn't there, but what if this happened here? What if our girls were home?
And since we can't monitor everything 24/7, we got someone who could.
ADT.
While some companies are new to home security, ADT has been helping to save lives for 135 years. We have more monitoring centers, more of tomorrow's technology right here today, and more value. 24/7 monitoring against burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide, starting at just over $1 a day. And now get ADT installed for just $99. Isn't your family worth America's #1 security company, ADT?
Our girls got us thinking, but the break-in got us calling.
And after buying 2 of everything, it was nice to only need 1 security system. ADT.
Get ADT installed for just $99 and ask about ADT Pulse, Advanced Home Management, here today. ADT, always there.
Chris, watch Eddie Elder, the safety here for Arizona State. What he's recognizing is that Boise State is unbalanced. You have a tight end who's lined up as a tackle, but he's an eligible wide receiver. That's going to occupy the safety and give Efall a chance to get away from the safety. See how he's trying to communicate unbalanced? He's eligible. Creates a lot of attention, and it opens up to the outside for a touchdown.
But old Alden Darby didn't get the message because he let him run right past him. He thought he had some safety help, but there was nobody there, Kirk.
Exactly.
Part of the fun of watching Boise State football. They will trick you in lots of different ways.
They sure will.
Now, a real challenge for the Sun Devils, who were talking a good game about being motivated, but now find themselves down a couple of touchdowns. This is Middlebrooks. No hesitation. They try to rip the ball out, but they'll take over at the 23rd. Back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Chris, thank you. Sports Center right now. Colts owner Jim Irsay says if Peyton Manning plays football next season, it will be in Indianapolis. Irsay also said, though, the Colts would take Manning's successor in the draft if the right quarterback is available. And USC quarterback Matt Barkley announcing today he will return for his senior season. Barkley says there's unfinished business, and he intends to play a part in it. Chris?
Wendy, thank you. It was a newsy day in college football. We'll have our take on Barkley's announcement today. In the meantime, the Sun Devils, well, an all too familiar lack of discipline. A personal foul after the return backs them up again to bad field position.
Most penalized team in the country drops, 14 quick points here to Boise State. And you wonder where their mindset's going to be. They're going to have to fight out of a hole and show a lot of courage and a lot of unity here to be able to get back into this game against a really, really talented team. Here's another penalty.
Broncos dancing around at the defensive line, and it'll cost them 5 more.
Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty.
Now, this was my concern coming into this game. It's not about the physical ability. If you look at these two teams on paper, Dennis Erickson has put together a team. You can see the frustration there on his face. Put together a team that has talent, physical talent, but you have to bring that talent together and have cohesion. Another move.
Did it again?
Right tackle.
Well, each tackle.
Everybody's taking a turn.
They can't go back much farther.
False start. Offense, number 69. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
So 3 penalties in 3 successive plays.
And you talked about it, Chris. Look at all the pre-snap movement. They're jumping around. I mean, and I think the movement, the confusion is getting, you can see Arizona State, they're getting back in pass protection because they're jumping the gun a little bit on where the pressure might be coming from.
Osweiler sets up in his end zone. 1st and 20. Takes a shot downfield, and it's over the head of Mike Willie.
See, that's their game, throwing the ball downfield to Willie and Robinson. What they miss is Jamal Miles being able to stretch a defense from sideline to sideline. They want to attack you with the running game, attack you wide, make you pay attention to that, and then throw the ball downfield. Right now, they're not having any success with the horizontal aspect of their offense at all to open up some of those stretch plays downfield.
Broncos have been vulnerable against a couple of teams this year to their downfield moves. TCU ate them alive with those plays in the lone Boise State loss.
They had some injuries in the back end. They gave up 473 yards passing to TCU, and the very next week, 350 to San Diego State.
Las Vegas native licking his chops in the D-line, but they swing it to Middlebrooks. That's the play that you're talking about.
Exactly, Chris. And it's just to get it out wide to be able to come up with some, just make the defense pay attention. And Jamal Miles this year was very, very effective in this area and very versatile. You can see what he did, not just in special teams, but running the football, catching the ball. And they are going to miss him tonight. We'll see tonight if A.J. Pickens and Kyle Middlebrooks can pick up that role. It's a big third down.
Osweiler flushed, fires over the middle. Pflugrad had his hand on it. Once again, it's Hightower defending, and another 3 and out.
Love the look of Lee Hightower as a true freshman. You know, his future, they tell us, is at safety, but because of injuries at corner, that has forced him to put a true freshman safety out at corner, and he's really held his own, not just tonight, but late in the year. Really has grown up a lot.
I want to add that the coaching staff is very high on Jamal Miles. It's not academics. There's no suspension, no disciplinary situation at all. Just a personal situation that he has to handle back home. But the absence certainly being felt. Already the third punt for Hubner, and again, he's backed up in his end zone. It's a high boot with the wind and a fair catch taken, and now Moore will start up 14 in plus territory.
The penalty, 3 penalties, put Arizona State in such a hole, and now it affects field position.
Well, ESPN's new football game, you're the most explosive player in the field, the return man. Hit the gap, break tackles, Kirk, and take it to the house. Play for free at ESPNReturnman.com.
I'm all over that.
Are you? Okay. Now, Moore has been all over this vulnerable Arizona State secondary that in the 4-game losing streak's been torched for about 330 a game through the air.
And he's 7 of 9 for 95 yards and a touchdown. And the 2 misses that he's had really could have been caught.
Mark hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss is just overpowering the blocker.
Nice
to
job.
See Bradford, who was down earlier, back in the game.
To see him back in and able to attack the Boise State defense. Comes from the bottom right here. Just gets his, nobody picks him up. The tight end is trying to come around to pick up the block, but he's a little bit late.
Moore working the middle. Off the hands of Shoemaker and intercepted by Clint Floyd. And Floyd comes up with exactly what the Sun Devil defense needed, their 30th takeaway of the season.
The second time we've seen Shoemaker, who is his go-to man, open and drop a ball. This time the result is a turnover for Arizona State, and maybe the Sun Devils get the break that they need to get back into this game. But Kellen Moore is in rhythm, makes a great read, puts the ball where it needs to be, maybe a bit behind Shoemaker, but he makes that catch 10 times out of 10.
And Floyd there to clean up, makes his 4th pick of the season. He's a second-team All-Pac-12 DB. Osweiler on the pump fake, has a man wide open, but is dropped. A short gain. McClellan grabbed him, and running down the field was Rashad Ross wide open.
Well, this is the kind of plays they must have studied Gary Patterson at TCU, because it's a double move, and that's the play that really caused them fits. Ross is right here. He's going to go there and then downfield. I've been bragging about Lee Hightower all night. This time he bites on the slant and he goes downfield. An easy play, and unfortunately for Arizona State, Osweiler didn't see him.
The Broncos with 4 men got pressure that time. This is Ross trying to escape traffic, brought down near midfield. It'll be close to a first down. Get very few opportunities like that in a game, though.
Yeah, and this time they went right back to it. Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, probably got a message down and told Brock Osweiler, hey, let's try to get the ball thrown to the outside to Ross, who's matched up there. There's Noel Mazzoni in the glasses.
Again, off to UCLA to work for Jim Moore. He's been everywhere. He's been at 3 different SEC schools, NC State, Minnesota. I'm probably missing a couple. Osweiler on first down, fires into traffic. That was a bullet. This went right by George Bell.
Like they may have a late flag coming in there. Pass interference. Might have been Hunter White. There's a little bit of contact there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. Ball will be placed at spotter foul. First down.
The zip on that ball from Osweiler.
Yeah, you might want to take a little off there.
Fastball. I don't know if Bell has a chance. You better hit him right in the numbers if you're going to bring it that up.
Get in the way of it. The only chance you have to catch that.
So the penalty moves the ball to the 47. Arizona State trying desperately to convert the takeaway into points. Climb back in this game. Osweiler threw it well behind Ross that time.
It's the third time they've tried to get the ball off to the right here with Ross matched up against Lee Hightower. So maybe they feel that Hightower could be, being a young player, maybe a player that they can try to attack. But he has played pretty well up to this point, other than biting on that quick slant, or that slant and go that they were unable to successfully locate.
Hightower, a guy who started the last couple of games this season. Throw in the flat. Jarrell Robinson finally makes his first catch. He's the guy that has 64 receptions this year, top receiver for the Sun Devils.
He's got great size, 6'4", 222 pounds. As you said, over 1,000 yards receiving. It's amazing some of the offensive numbers. You look at this football team and you think their coach got fired?
How could this be a 6-6 team when you look at the tape and check the stats on offense?
I know.
You need 3 on third down. Bad snap. The big guy has to track it down. He retains possession, but it blows up the drive.
Can another miscue for this Arizona State team. And if you're wondering how they lost their last 4 in a row, you're kind of seeing it right before your eyes. They've got ability to make plays, and I don't know if
that's on the quarterback.
No, I don't know if he just wasn't ready for it, if it slipped through his hands. The ball is definitely catchable. It's a good snap by Gerhardt. But they looked like they had a little bit of momentum there, a little bit of rhythm there to that drive, and now they're all the way back into their territory again.
They lose 21 yards, and Hubner's fourth punt. This is a bomb. It'll be a touchback. He got that one up into the wind. Let's go field side to Tom Rinaldi. Tom?
Chris, you know, interesting to see how different players react to different situations. 2 situations quickly with Brock Osweiler. Comes off the field immediately just then and said, that's on me, guys. I just missed the ball. I flat out missed the ball. Previously, after the second score by Boise State, immediately turning around, jumping up and down, trying to talk to the guys up and down his bench, trying to keep them motivated, in focus, not giving up, talking them up, chatting them up immediately. Obviously, he's going to have to try to keep them motivated here, depending on what Kellen Moore is able to build. Chris.
Moore back to work, and Osweiler really praised by the coaches. They love his leadership, the intangibles that he brings besides the obvious physical gifts. A fake by Moore, who flips it off to Shoemaker, who holds on to this one and slips a tackle. Picks up about 9.
Good to see Shoemaker get a catch there. I like how Kellen Moore went right back to him after the ball that went through his hands for the interception.
We knew that Arizona State was going to have to score some points to stay in this game because Boise figures to keep this trend up. Vontaze Burfict has been in the game the last couple of snaps. The tempestuous linebacker for the Sun Devils. He's number 7 right in the middle. Didn't figure to play much with the Sun Devils in nickel a lot of the time.
One thing about Burfict, when he comes in, he's known for some of his late hits. And one of the first plays he's involved with, close to being a late hit on the sideline.
End of the quarter, Broncos up by 2 touchdowns.
Meineke's personal pricing on brakes.
I tell you what I can spend.
I do my best to make it work.
I'm back on the road safely.
And I saved you money on brakes.
Well, that's personal pricing. My money, my choice, my Meineke.
Ah, Randy?
Surprise.
You look amazing.
You just stay away from that boy.
Don't deny him, cause he's my grandson.
On January 13th,
He been trouble since he was 5 years old.
a new arrival
I'd call you stubborn, but that'd be an insult to mules.
brings out old rivalries.
You're breaking my hair!
Queen Latifah, Dolly Parton, Joyful Noise.
Whoa! Not my table, that's where I eat.
Rated PG-13. Starts January 13th.
I can't figure out what to get for my husband.
Easy. Name some things that aren't on your list.
Jumper cables, camo anything, power drill. Oh.
The only place to go for every guy on your Christmas list, with great deals throughout the store. Walmart.
At Sam Adams, you're constantly challenged to keep moving forward.
For 2 years, Samuel Adams worked with the world's oldest brewery, the Weinstefan, on a new champagne-like beer within the German beer purity law.
At first, we thought it was an impossible challenge.
We took the traditional steps and rearranged them.
The result was beyond our expectations.
Infinium is tart, dry, and effervescent.
We learned from Samuel Adams how to go to the limit. Infinium is the art of brewing.
Cheers.
Hey,
let Mom try. Ready? Go.
Sometimes a hint is all the wrapping a gift needs.
Wait a minute,
The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, but only for a limited time. See your Lexus dealer for exclusive lease offers on the 2012 RX 350. And as a gift from Lexus, we'll make your first month's payment.
Dad, you are not meeting him looking like that.
I look fine. Just a little trouble with a bargain brand cooking spray.
I told you like a gajillion times to use new and improved Pam. It's 70% better than that bargain stuff. See? Look, I gotta go. Pam helps you, like, pull it off.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but if ain't one, hit me. 99 problems, but if ain't one. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but if ain't one, hit me. 99 problems, but if ain't one.
Rated M for mature.
Battle online for free on PSN.
PlayStation.
As my world turns, the heartbeat, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
Beautiful winter's night here in Las Vegas. Boise State back here for a second straight year, and so far after a quarter, Kirk, looks like a second consecutive convincing win for the Broncos. We'll have the ball back, up a couple of touchdowns. 2nd and 1 as we begin quarter number 2. Martin has a first down and more.
Doug Martin, the ball carrier.
He began this game with a kickoff return for a touchdown, and Vontaze Burfict began it on the sidelines.
He better keep an eye out for number 7 now that he's back in the lineup. This after that interception. He lowers the boom on Shoemaker, and then, of course, the hit on Shoemaker close to being out of bounds. But right now, Kellen Moore going up-tempo against this Arizona State defense.
This is Martin, slips a tackle. But Martin almost went. Alden Darby saved a touchdown. You can see the explosiveness of Martin when his legs are feeling fresh as they are tonight.
Absolutely, Chris, and also the vision there that time to find the cutback, kind of that jump cut back to the right. If you're not gap sound against Doug Martin, he's going to make you pay for it.
7 carries already for Martin, 40 yards to go with the 100-yard kickoff return. Moore on the first down. Looks for his brother, and the catch is made by Kirby Moore.
Just like in the backyard, right? Growing up. You kind of asked him this week, you know, kid, Dad's happy.
Yeah, they've only connected once all year for a touchdown, brother to brother.
He said
it's the last chance.
It's your last chance. He takes a hit here. Nothing late, and makes a nice throw despite the pressure. And if he's going to have timing and rhythm with anybody, it's going to be with his brother, Kirby.
The pistol formation. Martin gets the handoff again. Has a big hole in the tough running of Doug Martin inside the 10.
Well, when he gets to the second level untouched, with his low center of gravity and the acceleration that he has, he's a safety's worst nightmare. Nobody touches him, and he's going to go through those arm tackles. You better square up on him if you have any chance of bringing Doug Martin down.
He had an ankle injury. He did not play in the lone loss of the season to TCU, and since then has been on fire. So 1st and goal. Chance to further deflate Arizona State. This is Martin. Still on his feet. Inside the 5. You really like this kid. What are your favorite players in there?
Yeah, I've loved him for like the last 3 years. He's 5'9", he's 208 pounds. I just love these little backs that have that low center of gravity. Look at his legs.
Perfect. Went for the ankles and missed.
Yeah, you better have good technique, and you better gang tackle if you have any chance of bringing him down. And what's great for Boise State about Martin getting these yards, all it's doing is setting up the play action and the throwing of Kellen Moore eventually.
This is Martin again. Going straight ahead. He's really played his whole career in the considerable shadow of Kellen Moore, underappreciated for that reason, because it's thought of as a passing offense.
Absolutely. And right now it looks like Boise State just trying to challenge the will of Arizona State, a team that's lost 4 straight. They're down 14 right now.
It's a good idea, I think.
Absolutely.
Because that is very much a question right now.
But I mean, they're running the football.
Already 51 yards for Martin on this drive. 3rd and goal. Moore to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Back shoulder by the freshman, Matt Miller. What a year he's had, breaking all the Broncos freshman receiving records.
Well,
there's a flag. Let's check that. Broncos feel like it's going to stand.
Pretty much sums it up.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanship-like conduct. On the defense, number 7. That 15-yard penalty.
That's your guy Burfict with 15 yards after the touchdown. Personal fouls have been part of his career, along with good productivity, but that's been the flip side.
That's why he's been on the bench. We'll see if he goes back to the bench.
For Cena for the extra point. 2nd touchdown pass for Kellen Moore. And a 21-0 lead. Great year for Miller. He's had some circus catches. Caught a Hail Mary against Wyoming. This one pretty easy.
It's game day, and nothing says I'm lazy and I just woke up like a bag of chips. Except maybe ice, which also says I'm cheap too. Ah, 7-layer dip. Someone's mom just dropped them off. And then there's the Taco 12-pack. It's the type of thing that says I'm confident, I'm original, and I've got at least 11 friends. The Taco 12-pack. 12 classic crunchy tacos boxed up and ready for game day. Now at Taco Bell.
My boyfriend and I were going on vacation, so I used my city thank you card to pick up some accessories. A new belt, some nylons, and what girl wouldn't need new shoes? We talked about getting a diamond, but with all the thank you points I've been earning, somebody left the gate on. I flew us to the rock I really had in mind.
The City Thank You Card. Earn points you can use for travel on any airline with no blackout dates.
It's the most wonderful week of the year. Capital One Bowl Week continues Thursday, December 29th at 5:30 with the Champ Sports Bowl. Then at 9, it's the Valero Alamo Bowl on ESPN.
You want to save money on car insurance? No problem. You want to save money on RV insurance? No problem. You want to save money on motorcycle insurance? No problem. You want to find a place to park all these things? Forget about it. This is New York.
Hey, little guy, wake up.
Oh, come off it, Mike.
Geico. Saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Red Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup, the latest good time hit from country superstar Toby Keith.
Let's have a party. I I love you, Red Solo Cup.
Look for Red Solo Cup off of Toby's new album, Clancy's Tavern.
Proceed to party. Proceed to party.
Toby Keith, Clancy's Tavern features Red Solo Cup and the #1 hit, Made in America. Available at all Target stores.
And frustrations continue for Arizona State. In particular, Fonte's perfect. Who got an unsportsmanlike penalty after the Moore to Miller touchdown pass. It's what he said to Shoemaker after the play, we think, Kirk.
Shoemaker just coming into the middle there. Altercation right there. I mean,
Burfict kind of grabbed him in the play.
There's not a flag. I think it's
right
something he said.
Yep, there's the official reaching for the flag. Shoemaker jawing right back at him. We'll see if Dennis Erickson, Craig Brebb had enough. Number 7 tonight. The 15-yard penalty, they kick it off and boot it right through the end zone.
They had so much success running the football on that last drive. You know, they went 80 yards, 8 plays, just beautiful drive. But it creates one-on-one opportunities when you run the football. And this is a play, again, we talked about it earlier. Boise State literally could do this play in their sleep. And it's a challenge, most challenging play for a defensive back out on an island, a corner, to deal with the backside fade. And the back shoulder fade is something that they practice over and over and over, and it makes it tough. But when you run the football, you leave those corners isolated against the receivers, and Kellen Moore going to make a great throw almost every time.
His 3 incompletions have all hit receivers' hands tonight, by the way. This is Marshall just trying to get something going, but you really can't run wide very well on Boise State. Nobody has all year.
No, I mean, their defensive line will start to really challenge Arizona State in the mindset. You're down 21, you've lost 4 in a row, the coach has been fired. How you feeling right now? Because the team in blue is not gonna let up. If anything, they're gonna push even harder.
They get a mean streak, don't they? This defensive line loves to punish and pile on.
They love playing with each other, too.
Osweiler on play action, takes a shot over the middle, had a man open, but it's almost intercepted by big old Byron Hout, stout linebacker who's a little gimpy.
He almost made a big play there. The ball was thrown from behind, but we've talked so much about this defensive line. You said it, seniors across the board. Here, let's go, last one right here, son.
Jarrell Root's kind of the character. Crawford, the Canadian there. See Billy Wynn in the middle. He's a Vegas native. McClellan, the silent guy, he said he's made about 2 speeches in his entire career. And it's 3rd and long for Osweiler over the middle. It's caught, but short of the first down is Robinson.
Yeah, there were some NFL folks on the sideline during warm-ups I had a chance to talk to, and you know, they said, you know, a lot of people talk about Boise State being scrappy and overachieving. He said, you know, there's 8 or 9, maybe 10 guys that are going to be in NFL camps next year. Probably 3 or 4 of them off the defensive line.
They're going to go for it here, Kirk, on 4th and 1. Desperation time. Up. Second thoughts as they bring on the punt team.
They better think about that one.
Really? Down 3 touchdowns? What do you got to lose? You're going to give the ball back. You get me down 4 touchdowns the next time you get it.
Well, that's true. Might as well just try to keep the ball away from 11 in blue.
Josh Hubner's been busy, his 5th punt. This one is high and against the wind, not very far. Ooh, careful, just trying to get away from it was Potter at the last minute. And once again, great field position for old number 11 in Vegas.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Mako for quality repairs at great prices.
Mako fixes cars? The same Mako that painted my old Nissan?
Mako makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Mako saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Mako is 33% less. Mako for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your better get Mako.
Acqua di Gio. Giorgio Armani. At Macy's, your fragrance destination.
Hi, just wanted to let you know that military personnel can pre-board at the gate.
Passengers and our uniformed military personnel to board at this time.
To those who put our country first, we're honored to do the same for you.
We were doing a live shot for SportsCenter, and my 5-year-old at the time, he was kind of waving and sitting in the chair and waving. I can see him out of the corner of my eye. I'm trying to focus as best I can on the question, and at the same time, I'm going like, and there's his little head peeking over my shoulder, trying to see if he's on TV. They don't look at me as a broadcaster as I'm dad. I'm a sheriff. That's basically what I am. My name is Kirk Herbstreit, and I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin.
As my world turns, the heartbeat, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
ESPN College Football, the Mako Bowl Las Vegas, is brought to you by Las Vegas. Ring in 2012 in Las Vegas. Enjoy fireworks, dining, nightlife, and more. Only Vegas. Macy's. And American Airlines. Traveled over 250 cities in 40 countries on American Airlines.
Coaches in the arms of showgirls, part of the Outback Buffet Bowl, Fremont Sea Experience, the pie eating contest. Toa Tuatea of ASU took that. Doug Martin on the left there showing the moves on the dance floor on the contest. Showing the moves tonight, that's sure is. Broncos been ripping off big chunks of yardage on first down, as you see, and more on play action. Rolls out, takes a shot into double coverage, and overthrows. Man. Dallas Burrows was the freshman.
Actually, really good discipline there by Arizona State with the success that Martin's had running the football. We knew it was coming eventually, that play action, deep ball downfield. Safeties this time get back and in position. Eddie Elder, good job of taking away any chance at all of making a potential catch there by Burrows.
Second down. High pass is collected by Kyle Efa, the tight end. Picks up about 4.
Kyle Efa. Pick up a 5. The Elder covering on the play. Third down. Third and 5.
Third down. 46-yard line. About 5. Martin caught up in traffic as the ball flipped over his head. Jamar Jarrett, the defensive end, was in coverage there, nowhere to go for more.
That time, they get him to third down. You got a chance. They brought a blitz with Oliver Aaron, and nobody picked him up. It forced him to get the football off a little bit quicker than I think he was ready to, and Martin just didn't have a chance at all. And that zone pressure there, the defensive end dropped in coverage, and Jarrett just was there all over Doug Martin.
Brad Elkin finally gets to do some work. First punt of the night for Boise State. Pflugrad again filling in for Jamal Miles as the returner is back deep. Low punt. A chance for a return, and once again poor field position for Osweiler. A frustrated night so far for the big fella. His team down 3 scores.
The All-State Sugar Bowl, January 3rd on ESPN.
It was a classic Vegas night. We dropped our bags in the suite. We caught the game at Legacy Stadium. We had dinner at Twist. Then we hit the town. Things got a little crazy. One thing led to another, and the next day, Steve tagged me in a photo from the Gold Lounge. It was a blatant violation of the code. So I did the right thing, and I reported him. Don't be that guy.
Report friends and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
Acqua di Gioia, the new essence of joy. Giorgio Armani. Available at Macy's, your fragrance destination.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-205-0513. That's 1-800-205-0513.
Nightmarish start for the Sun Devils, who limped in on a 4-game skid, trying to say the right things about being motivated and emotional and wanting to send out Dennis Erickson. But Dennis even admitted, Kirk, there's no such thing as a win one for the Gipper anymore. That just rarely happens in college football, and it has not been an inspired effort so far tonight.
No, I want to go back to the last punt, and I want to watch a nice block here by Anthony Jones. Watch what he does against Hunter White. Just a nice shot. You know, that's legal play. Watch what he does after the block. Here's a team that's lost 4 in a row. They're down 21 in a bowl game, and he's going to talk trash.
Pass rather over the middle, and Jarrell Robinson collects it and has a first down. So he blindsided a guy, too. There was no particular skill in the block.
And if you're Todd Graham, I hope he's taking mental notes. And that's the first thing he should put at number 1. Clean it up. If this team wants to win games, you've got to clean the program up and start competing as a group. Less trash talking, more play.
You say clean it up, you mean just
there's no need for that. I mean, you've lost 4 in a row. You're getting embarrassed. You're down 21. You have a block that's questionable. And you're going to come over and you're going to talk trash to Hunter White because you happen to get a good block. How about helping a guy up and telling him, I'll see you next play? You're down 21.
Yeah, check the scoreboard.
What are you thinking?
They really can't get Cameron Marshall going. No success in the ground at all for the Sun Devils. Osweiler middle again, high off the hand of Robinson.
Pass intended for Robinson, incomplete.
That was a tough, tight window there, and Aaron Tevis gets his hand on that football and knocks it away. Really good effort by the middle linebacker. What you can't see there is Tevis knocking that football away because he had position there on Iloka. It was a tight window, and Tevis is able to make the play.
Dennis looking cold and grumpy. Another third down. They need 8 this time. Osweiler fires high again, and Robinson a second catch for a first down. And he's inside Boise State territory.
Uses his body here. And again, it's getting a little chippy out there. And officials are going to have to take control of this. 6'4", 222 pounds. Keeps the defender away from the football. Uses that big body, and then afterwards, Fabus doesn't let go, and Robinson not very happy about it.
Coming off a monster game against Arizona, had 11 catches for almost 200 yards. This is Middlebrooks on the swing pass, and a promising drive for the Sun Devils. And a flag after the play along the sidelines. Lee Hightower was involved with a couple of Arizona State players.
Personal foul. Offense, number 1. 15-yard penalty, first down.
There's exhibit 12, and exactly what you're talking about. Mike Willie, the receiver, penalized, and after a big gain, they march back.
You got to keep your cool. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised when you lose your cool. And you know, it's caught up to them throughout this whole year. And drives him out of bounds. It's a good effort. Whistle's already blown, and he's still driving him over the bench. Really a good run that time by Middlebrooks. He set that block up very, very well, and they looked like they had another big gain, only to have another setback.
Osweiler looking down the sidelines, and now flags fly as Willie was knocked down.
They got interference here on Taylor.
You're right, this is getting chippy.
It is. It is. Willie and Robinson both starting to try to.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Both those receivers, Kirk, 6'4", 220 pounds. And they're trying to, as you see Jamar Taylor with a smile, trying to impose their physical style.
He's 5'11", going up against receivers that are 6'4". He's the physical corner. But downfield, you can't lock up with a receiver like that. Ball's in the air. Easy call for the official, who's been standing right there.
First and 10 for Arizona State.
Ball to 32 after the penalty. Broncos rush 3, drop 8, and the ball flipped across the middle to Bell. Pants pop on the tackle by J.C. Percy. It's a first down.
And another big receiver, George Bell, who doesn't have the numbers, but he's 6'3" and over 200 pounds. You put those three together, and that's a handful for this secondary. The key is being able to finish the drive. 60 yards here, 5 first downs, but can they get points? Can they get a touchdown here to stop the bleeding?
Marshall, that's his best run of the night. He picks up about 4.
It's the first time they've gotten down into the red zone.
It's an effective red zone offense, Kirk. I mean, 34 touchdowns in their 55 red zone trips. That's a very impressive percentage.
But late in the year, it became a little bit of a problem for him.
Everything became a problem for him late in the year.
You're right about that.
This is Marshall. Hesitated just a bit. Hammers forward for a couple before Percy stopped him. Figure they got a couple plays to get these 3 yards. They're not kicking a field goal, Dennis, at this point.
They're going to have to. And these big receivers are a dangerous matchup for Boise State's undersized defensive backs. They get matched up one-on-one. He'll try to find them in the end zone.
Marshall and Middlebrooks flanking Osweiler. Ross comes in motion. You look far side, fade, and it's way overthrown. Robinson was well covered. No chance for a play there, and it's 4th down.
He had the matchup that he wanted, but that was great coverage. And the difference is the safety, George Aloka, gets matched up. See the difference in size there?
He's a strong guy,
Aloka's 6'3", 213 pounds. A little bit different than going up against Lee Hightower or going up against Jamar Taylor.
I checked that. They are going to kick a field goal on 4th and 3, down 21 points. Here comes Alex Garut.
Just wants some points.
He's been up and down this year, down in the losing streak. Missed 3 against UCLA. Crucial misses. This one from 32 to try to get the Sun Devils on the board. Okay. Chipping away. They got a lot more chipping to do. Really needed 7, not 3 out of that drive.
Meineke's personal pricing on brakes.
I tell you what I can spend.
I do my best to make it work.
I'm back on the road safely.
And I saved you money on brakes.
Well, that's personal pricing. My money, my choice, my Meineke.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they see that I'm free. All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they
The SoundLink wireless mobile speaker. Bluetooth connectivity. Grab-and-go portability. With deep, rich sound you can only get from Bose.
JCPenney knows you still haven't bought or anything yet, but for looking at these great gift ideas, we're going to show you this.
Okay, Bart, what's your wish this year? A few sacks?
Can't wait.
Championship?
Can't wait.
Ticker tape parade?
You know I can't wait.
Take a picture.
Santa's real, y'all. With the Capital One Venture Card, we get double miles on every purchase. So we earned a holiday trip to the Big Apple twice as fast. Dinner. We get double miles every time we use our card. And since double miles add up fast, we can bring the whole gang. It's hard to beat double miles.
I want a mace, a sword, ow!
Get the Venture Card from Capital One and earn double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
I wonder what it can be.
What's in your wallet?
Do. Just 2 simple letters, but 1,000,001 imperatives. Do is a challenge. The expectation of greatness. Which is why we don't just make technology. We make do machines. Super-powered creation engines that make things happen. Lenovo, for those who do.
And it looks Garut getting the Sun Devils on the board, and we're celebrating our 7th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, more than $2.6 million in scholarship money has been contributed. Well, on the side of the hospitality tent, down there in the end zone, they watched the field goal chop the lead to 18. It was a 66-yard drive. Some great plays. They survive a personal foul, get down to the red zone, but
let's see if
the lack of a running game is crushed it.
Let's see if they can cover a kickoff here. The last time we saw Doug Martin, he went 100 yards.
This time Martin at his 4. No, they lay a shot on him, but he just bounces off and gets it to the 29. ESPN 2 Monday. Capital One Bowl week continues with the Andrew Care V100 Independence Bowl. North Carolina with Everett Withers, who's off to Columbus to be a part of Urban Meyer's Buckeye staff. Facing on James Franklin and Missouri, 5 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN 2. Larry Fedora taking over, going from Southern Miss to take over Tar Heels program.
A lot of changes, not just at the top, but a lot of the coordinators are moving around and finishing off their obligations.
8 interim coaches and games, and guys like Erickson and Withers finishing it out. Here's Martin. And it bounces straight ahead.
The ball carrier.
Arizona State defense, Colin Parker, one of the leaders there, trying to get some kind of spark, make a play.
And he got underneath the block there, and he is a guy that they've been able to actually turn to for leadership. When this defense lost Brandon McGee in the preseason, I think it really impacted not just the whole defense, but in particular Vontez Burfict and the linebacker group. But Parker has been an anchor this year and a guy that they can, a very, very reliable guy.
Well, on second down, zips it in traffic, catch made. You know, Parker is a guy that has felt the pain of this losing streak as much as anybody. And Shoemaker with the catch. His dad, Anthony, was a Sun Devil player, played 100 games in the NFL. In fact, he missed Colin's birth by 15 minutes as he was coming back from his NFL minicamp. But this guy has, like Osweiler on the offensive side, just tried to desperately keep his teammates going, keep them up, keep them believing, but it's been an uphill fight.
Yeah, he's been the leader. He's been the guy that's, as this ship has begun to go down, he's tried to stay positive and try to get guys to rally around him.
Martin hammers ahead. Jamar Jarrett stopped him after a 4-yard gain.
You think about Boise State and the debate every year whether or not they're a BCS Bowl type of team or worthy type of team or not. And I really felt the last couple of years they deserve serious consideration. It's not just because of Kellen Moore, the guys you always talk about. It's because of what they have up front on both sides, the offensive line and the defensive line. We're seeing that again tonight.
Martin comes in motion into the backfield. Still 3 receivers bunched to the right, but he flips it across the left to Efa, the tight end. And that ball distribution, do you think he knew before the snap where he was going that time?
Well, he always does. I mean, he's able to get a pre-snap read.
You say that like it's no big deal.
For him, it is no big deal. I mean, he gets a pre-snap read, and he literally knows what to do with the football before he's, well, based on the pre-snap read. Now, he might get a different coverage. They might be disguising. He's able to adjust. He processes the information so quickly. He's hit 8 different receivers tonight. And the other thing about his abilities, Chris, is the pocket presence and the way he just sits back there so comfortably.
Here's the reverse. And the pass coming. It's the other Moore showing why he's not the quarterback in the family. Come on. Kirby came around, and Kellen's going to have a word to his little brother there. That was not a textbook throw. His dad's saying,
yeah, I know you're a receiver.
That's why we
but,
put him at receiver.
Yeah, but come on. We used to throw the
even with
ball
those gloves on,
back
you got to
home.
do better than that.
Yeah.
He takes a bump late. He felt the pressure.
Yeah, I think he felt the pressure. How about Carr? If Carr sees that a little earlier, not only does he intercept that, he is gone.
I mean, Burrows
for a
was
touchdown.
open if the ball's delivered. Here's the right Moore, the lefty delivers, and that's what little brothers does. He does better. He catches the ball. It's a first down, and Dad's
shake it off.
That's what we do. That's how big brother throws to little brother. That's how it's supposed to be.
The timing is there, but yeah, way to shake that one off. He just wanted to get the ball in his hands again, try to rebound from that effort. He will never live that one down back home, by the way.
He was kind of sheepish as he ran off the field.
He gets a first down. He's like, I'm going to go back here and hide for a little bit.
Kellen hands it off to Martin. Martin again waits for his blockers, breaks in the clear and almost busts it before a saving tackle by Johnson. 13 more.
Well, great job on this draw, getting downfield by the offensive line and the acceleration. Look at these guys get downfield. Are you kidding me? I mean, Efall gets involved there. You also see Mitch Burrows, but the way he's able to recognize and then accelerate upfield to go along with his power, he just makes him a handful.
Talked about his vision and his patience. What kind of a prospect is Martin at the next level?
How many running backs do you see in the NFL that have his size? I mean, look at Ray Rice and what he's done at Baltimore. Maurice Jones-Drew, what he's done at Jacksonville. There are a lot of undersized backs that have powerful lower bodies.
Punt fake for Moore. Looks for the end zone. Threw it behind the receiver. It was off the hands of Dallas Burrows. But again, Kellen hitting a receiver in the hands. Top pro prospect on this Boise State team for sure is Nate Potter, the left tackle, who's a first-team All-American and also an academic All-American.
You see Martin, they're potentially a fourth.
What do you think about 6th round for Moore?
I think it'll depend really on his workouts. Everybody's questioning his size, his arm strength. His workouts will be big for him.
There's a rare snap under center for Moore, which he'll have to do obviously at the next level. The handoff to Moore is dropped for
That's the other thing. When he does his personal workout, a lot of people are speculating about 6th round, 7th round free agent, whatever it might be. How is he going to throw when he's under center? In the NFL, there's so many different drops. You have to drop the 3-step, 5-step, 7-step. A lot of times you take, without a hitch, you're throwing the football, and you're making reads while you do it. And we've seen a lot of college quarterbacks who run some version of a spread who have tried to adjust to the NFL game, and the drops are one of the things that really impacts them the most, getting used to the drops.
13 more. Eludes pressure as he does so well, flips it off short of the first down as Efall, Darby made a tackle, but there's that pocket presence, the instinct to dodge the rusher, stay alive.
And this comes with experience. This is something that he's really worked on. He said he studied Drew Brees a lot, being undersized, just a little movement in the pocket, buys himself a little bit of time, and then the accuracy after the movement to reset his feet. It's textbook.
Broncos try to add to the lead before halftime. It's 4th down. Come back.
When you hear Boise State University, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Forensic genetics, using the power of DNA to find the guilty, free the innocent.
Quorum sensing, of course.
The thermal ionization mass spectrometer from the Isotope Geology Lab.
Working with NASA to develop plasma micropropulsion devices for space exploration.
Nothing else comes to mind when you think of Boise State.
Duh. DNA nanotechnology.
Discover what goes on beyond the blue. Visit beyondtheblue.boisestate.edu.
It's time to look directly into the sun, to take a hike, to get a clue. to take a flying leap, to play with fire, to get a life. It's time to be a Sun Devil.
They'll go for it on 4th down, already up 21-3. Boise State just doing what they do. Kirk showing up focused, prepared, ready, disciplined. This has been the hallmark throughout 4 years for this group of seniors. More connection made. Miller, and it's a 1st and goal. Miller, an impressive 6'3", freshman out of Helena, Montana.
Chris, watch how they motion Miller out to get him. He says he sees a matchup that he wants. He says just get out there a little bit wider, and then it creates the spacing that he needs to be able to hit that quick slant there on 4th down for a 1st down.
Grant Hedrick is at quarterback now. They've got more out of there. And here's the backup quarterback under center on 1st and goal. They flip it out. It's a trick play and an easy touchdown. That's how it's supposed to happen as Miller finds Efa. Not fair.
It's just not fair. And you knew an option was coming in. When Hedrick comes in, they're going to run an option, and Arizona State ran to the option. Miller this time could have, if he wanted to, maybe he just wanted some stats, he could have walked into the end zone for a touchdown. Instead, just kind of like a little shortstop, a little flip there of the wrist, and an easy touchdown pass.
He almost short-armed it. It's more fun to throw for a touchdown, isn't it, than run for it if you're a receiver?
It's like he was in practice. You see that he just kind of flipped it.
And Fresina tacks on the point. 28-3, all smiles and some chuckles on the Broncos sideline as we send it back to Wendy.
Chris, thank you. Coming up on the H&R Block halftime report, we'll talk about Matt Barkley's decision to return to USC. What does Oregon and the U.S. Air Force have in common? And we'll talk Pats with Les Miles. It's all coming up on the H&R Block halftime report. See you then.
All right, thank you. Well, just a nightmare from the first 14 seconds of the game when Martin put the Sun Devils in an early hole. It's been downhill. Hey, NBA basketball on Christmas Day, and it begins at noon Eastern time with the Celtics and the next couple games on ABC. Bulls and Lakers as Lakers try to get Kobe Bryant healthy. And Magic and Thunder 8 o'clock, and it wraps up with the Clips and the Warriors at 10:30 Eastern time. Sort of take for granted Boise State's sustained excellence, and it looks very much like Kellen Moore is going to collect win number 50 in his career, record that really will never be broken in college football as the kickoff is finally collected down there by Ross. And Rashad Ross tries to get to the corner. Now he'll come back this way. Gets a couple of blocks. He's going to try to get both corners, and Ross finally at the 30-yard line is dropped. Now we would take for granted the excellence. I think maybe the pollsters take for granted, the Heisman voters take for granted what they've done, but a guy would have to average 12.5 wins per year over 4 years just to equal Kellen Moore's record if he wraps up number 50.
Say that again. 4-year starter, average 12.5 wins for 4 years. That's almost up there with Pete Rose's all-time hit leader. I mean,
unbreakable.
I don't think that'll ever go down.
Osweiler to Middlebrooks as they try to break a long one here just before halftime, and a flag comes out.
Holding.
Why not?
Offense, number 8.
6.
10-yard penalty from spot of foul.
Terrell Robinson, the receiver. It's been a problem throughout the year. Even heightened during the 4-game losing streak. Self-destruction hasn't really been the #1 theme tonight. Boise State's just a lot better team, but the Sun Devils have contributed to their 25-point hole here. Osweiler to Robinson.
Just goes to show you how much mindset can impact a team. This team beat USC.
By 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. This team beat USC.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Light years.
All right, Kellen Moore trots off. The Broncos in complete control of 25 as we go back to Wendy Nix for the H&R Block halftime report. Wendy?
Chris, thank you very much. We welcome you inside our ESPN College Football Studios with Trevor Maddich. I'm Wendy Nix, and as Chris said, in all likelihood, Kellen Moore will get his 50th career win, dotting the I on an incredible career. But this defense, they don't get a lot of love because of Kellen Moore, but they play extremely well also.
They do. It's a joy to watch Kellen Moore in this game. The last opportunity to see him in a Boise uniform. But this defense has been fantastic for years, but playing in the shadow of this flashy, incredible Boise State offense. In this game, they've been dominant against Arizona State. But it's not just today. Whether it's in the opener last year against Virginia Tech, the opener this year against Georgia. These are guys that don't just win by being tricky and doing lots of different stunts and blitzes. They can line up, hit you in the mouth, and beat you man for man. And that's one thing that's impressive, and I think that's lost in all the flash and dash and trick plays that the offense runs. And here's an example of one thing they do. They're not supermen. The bottom of the screen, sometimes when they have a mistake in the secondary, you have the rest of the guys in front looking at the replay, clean up for it. They can't even get the ball off to what should be a long touchdown because the front seven is so good that they get there and shut it down. And so this is a defense with great players all over the field, and it's a joy to watch them now. And what is the last game for many seniors on this defense?
Well, speaking of high-profile quarterbacks, Matt Barkley made his decision today, announcing what he would do next year regarding his future at USC.
It is my dream to play quarterback in the NFL. And I intend to make that dream a reality. But I know in my heart that I have not yet finished my journey as a Trojan football player. Our USC football team has been through some tough times, and we have persevered. But the 2012 team has some serious, unfinished business to attend to, and I intend to play a part in it.
They love to hear that. Always effective. Barkley took his game to another level this season. He completed nearly 70% of his passes and averaged nearly 300 yards per game. But take a look at his touchdown passes. After totaling 41 in his first two seasons combined, Barkley threw for 39 in his junior year for USC, third most in the FBS. Trevor, why the improvement?
He's become more sophisticated in how he interacts with receivers. He doesn't just throw the ball to a spot. He'll move his receivers around the field with ball placement. And here's an example. He's got Brandon Carswell on a simple slant, but he hits him at full extension at a full stride, leading him into the open space in front of him because he can see, Barkley can, that Carswell is not in danger of a collision upon making that catch. But when there is a danger of a head-on collision, often Barkley will stop the receiver with the placement of the ball. Bryce Butler here gets to stop and turn around and not get hit in the mouth by Montez Burfict. Receivers appreciate that. Now, Barkley also will throw receivers into a position to uncover at the very end of a route. The replay shows exactly what he does. Marquise Lee is about 5 yards from the sideline, closely covered. The ball comes in about 1.5 yards from the sideline. He is uncovered from the defender at the last second, so the defender can't reach in and knock it away. And this touchdown to Lee is the same way. Lee is heading right towards the pylon, but Barkley doesn't throw the ball where he's running. There's a receiver right on his back, so Barkley throws the ball a bit deeper. So Lee can uncover at the last second. The receiver is not encumbered by the defender reaching in. And this is one of the reasons that these receivers have an early Christmas present having Barkley back.
And to be clear, USC will play sanction-free in 2012. They're eligible for a bowl game, to which you heard Barkley refer, saying this team had unfinished business and he wants to be a part of it. So for the second straight year, a high-profile quarterback returns to the Pac-12. Speaking of which, how about this high-octane offense? The Ducks averaging more than 46 points per game. We'll show you why coming up.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Maaco for quality repairs at great prices.
Maaco fixes cars? The same Maaco that painted my old Nissan?
Maaco makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Maaco saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Maaco is 33% less. Maaco for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your better get Maaco.
Can't stop me, no, you can't stop me. Can't stop me, no, you can't stop me.
You want to save money on car insurance? No problem. You want to save money on RV insurance? No problem. You want to save money on motorcycle insurance? No problem. You want to find a place to park all these things? Forget about it. This is New York.
Hey, little guy, wake up.
Oh, calm off it, Mike.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
The holidays are more amazing when you are the controller. Buy the Connect Holiday Bundle and get 2 full games, plus tons of entertainment with 3 months of Xbox Live Gold. Only on Connect for Xbox 360. Rated everyone.
So how do we feel?
Like we're finally ready for that trip to Spain. Eh, muchacho?
Yeah.
Get in, get confident. Supercuts every time.
I can check your email.
Kids! Sing, Larry, sing. We should have got a cat.
Get low prices on gifts to stay connected. Order your last-minute gifts at Walmart.com and get free same-day pickup on select items. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
They'll see you before you see them. Cops are cracking down on drinking and driving. Drive sober or get pulled over.
This halftime report is presented by H&R Block. Never settle for less.
Coming up on January 2nd on ESPN, the inimitable Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. It's Wisconsin and Oregon. The Badgers making their second straight appearance in Pasadena. The Ducks looking for their first Rose Bowl win since 1917, putting their high-octane offense to the test. And as we mentioned before, the Ducks averaging 46.1 points per game, third in the FBS, and part of the reason for that is the frenetic pace at which they're able to run plays. Where does that come from?
Well, they borrow something from fighter pilots. U.S. Air Force Colonel John Boyd defined the thought process that leads to action. He called it the OODA loop after the first letter of each of the 4 steps. First, you observe the situation, orient yourself to the threat, decide what to do, and then act on that decision. Well, fighter pilots know that if they can do something so sudden or unexpected that it makes the opponent reset his OODA loop back to the observe step, it gives them an edge. And Oregon does this to defenses with the pace of their offense. Against Stanford earlier this year, it's 3rd down, Oregon gets stopped. Now, both teams on 4th down start to reset their OODA loop, but Oregon goes through theirs faster than Stanford does. Immediately, Oregon looks to the sideline. They get the new play call. They communicate it amongst everybody on the offense, get themselves arrayed in their formation, and now they're ready to go. They've gone through the steps of the OODA loop. They have observed, oriented, decided what to do, and are ready to act. But Stanford is not ready. They're still trying to get lined up. They're stuck on the orient phase, which for defenses also includes getting lined up in the right gap. Well, because Oregon acts while Stanford is still trying to orient, there is nobody in the gap at the point of attack, and it's an open lane for a touchdown. Now, Oregon scores so fast sometimes that defenses don't know what hit them. But fighter pilots watch this and they just nod and they just smile because this is something they do every day.
All in a day's work when you're a fighter pilot. Well, it was Oregon's opening game, and that offense struggled just a bit, didn't quite keep up with that LSU defense. LSU, of course, put together an undefeated season from that point on. And then, not a huge surprise, their head coach, Les Miles, now 1 win away from his team's first 14-0 season and a 3rd BCS championship. He's the coach of the year. Let's talk about his hat.
He always has one. He always has it sitting like at the top of his head, kind of funny. Like, I don't know if it's the way he wears it or if it's the way the hat's made, but yeah, people give him a hard time all the time. But it's a good look to him. don't want him to stop wearing it now.
Do you like the nickname the Mad Hatter? Because
No,
it's just going to get worse.
I understand something. It's the hat I wear. It's nothing mad underneath it.
I started wearing the hat, really, I don't know that I ever took the field in a responsible position without a hat. Certainly as a head coach, I wore a cap.
How many of them do you have?
I don't count them. They hand them, they put them in the locker, and I wear the one that they put in the locker.
Do you ever repeat a hat?
No, it's a brand new hat a game.
Why in the heck would you wear a red hat in here?
It's not red, it's kind of maroon.
So these are some famous people on their hats. Abraham Lincoln.
Well done. It's amazing that you picked that one right out there.
What does his hat say about him?
A great leader. I think it says that he's a man of the times.
Al Capone.
There's some style to that cap.
Queen Elizabeth. What does that hat say about her?
Distinguished, very honorable. It's an unusual cap.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I like Indiana Jones.
No, you perked up right away for this.
Yeah, I kind of understand that vintage. Nothing he can't do.
For the end zone touchdown! What a call!
What do you believe your fashion signature is? On the field.
Fashion statement.
Come
on,
on.
the field.
You're known as the Mad Hatter.
Okay,
it's the hat.
I'll
embrace
answer
it.
The hat.
Why is that so hard to embrace it? You wear it well.
My fashion statement, consistency. I started my career with a hat that's always been white. And to be honest, I want my team to see the same guy on the sideline year after year, game after game. Being consistent is the key.
Speaking of inimitable, well, things went well for Arizona State for about 15 seconds. Here's Doug Martin. The kickoff return that set the tone. Boise State leading 28-3 at the half.
It has a famous song. It rides in limos. It has a crew. It gets invited to parties with paparazzi. It hangs out poolside. It has millions of drooling fans. It knows the recipe for success. There's nothing like it, the Big Mac. It doesn't do interviews. And don't miss the Mac Snack Wrap while it's in the house. The simple joy of famous flavor.
Welcome to Idaho, where they grow America's favorite potatoes.
Everyone knows Idaho potatoes taste great, but did you know they're good for you too? They're high in vitamins and potassium. And Idaho potatoes are now certified to carry the Heart Check Mark from the American Heart Association for foods low in saturated fat and cholesterol.
So they're good for my family and for yours. Heart Smart Idaho potatoes. Always look for the grown in Idaho seal.
We were doing a live shot for SportsCenter, and my 5-year-old at the time, he was kind of waving and sitting in the chair and waving. I can see him out of the corner of my eye. I'm trying to focus as best I can on the question, and at the same time, I'm going like, and there's his little head peeking over my shoulder, trying to see if he's on TV. They don't look at me as a broadcaster as I'm dad. I'm a sheriff. That's basically what I am. My name is Kirk Herbstreit, and I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin.
The NCAA and DonorsChoose.org are working together to put academic and athletic supplies back into our schools. And you can join the NCAA in supporting the needs of teachers' projects. From athletics to academics, find out how you can help future student athletes at ncaa.org/fundthefuture.
Welcome back to the H&R Block Halftime Report.
Some news and notes around college football, but first, don't forget to play ESPN's new game. You can be the most explosive player on the field, the Return Man. You can play for free, ESPNReturnMan.com. And as promised, Akron has hired Terry Bowden as its new football coach. Son of former Florida State coach Bobby Bowden takes over a team that went 2-22 and won just one conference game the past 2 seasons. And good news for Kansas coach Charlie Weiss. He lands a pair of high-profile quarterbacks today. Former top recruit Dane Christ announced on Twitter he would join the Jayhawks for his senior season after a checkered career at Notre Dame. And that was shortly before the news broke that former BYU quarterback Jake Heaps will also transfer to Kansas. Heaps asked BYU coach Bronco Mendenhall to be released from his scholarship earlier this month. Meanwhile, though, we've got a second half to be played in the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas, as Kellen Moore looks for career win number 50. Moore to Miller, his team on top, leading 28-3 at the break.
On my journey across America, I've learned that when you ask someone in Texas if they want big savings on car insurance, it's a bit like asking if they want a big hat. Excuse me. Or a big steak. Or big hair. I think we have our answer.
If I could separate what's real from what I've been dreaming, I could live to fight another day.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Gate 40, ma'am.
Straight over that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like the window? Oh, I'm fine. Thank you, sir.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great trip home.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. It's nice to know. Yes. Let me get that.
Have a nice night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
No. Thank you.
Let's compare sports on Dish Network and DirecTV. DirecTV has every football game every Sunday, plus MLB Extra Innings, NASCAR Hot Pass, Universal Sports, Yes Network, MSG, SNY, Gold TV, and interactive mixed channels with bonus coverage of all of the golf and tennis majors. And Dish Network has none of these. The most sports programming. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Ring in the holidays with a special offer from DirecTV Cinema.
You know what I'm saying?
Get over $10 back when you order any 4 movies this month, like Friends with Benefits.
No emotions, just sex.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
There you go!
Our Idiot Brother.
You know, I try and do good, but I just screw it up.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Join me, Harry, and confront your fate.
Order any 4 movies this month and get over $10 back. DirecTV Cinema, starting at channel 125.
Cool. You know I'ma deliver. Let's collaborate and make the holiday a little bigger. I played my best for him.
What to watch for on Christmas Eve? Nevada will take on Southern Miss in the Sheridan Hawaii Bowl.
Look for a lot of scoring. Southern Miss scores a lot of points on special teams and defense, and Nevada can put them up as well.
Aloha, here we come. And speaking of football, the Texans and the Colts NFL action on this Thursday night. First half winding down. Texans over the Colts 10-6. And in baseball hot stove news, Carlos Beltran and the World Series champion St. Louis Cardinals have agreed to a 2-year deal pending results of a physical, fortifying the team's lineup following the departure of Albert Pujols. Second half coming up. Enjoy.
This halftime report is presented by H&R Block. Never settle for less.
Aw.
What?
Remember this? What a sad, sad man.
Where'd you get that?
You don't mind if I post it, do you?
Totally fine with that. Pow. Oh, look. Facebook and Twitter are blowing up. And your girlfriend says, hold me. You guys doing okay?
We're doing fine.
Huh.
You want to go there? I'm just going to have to go there. Scrub-a-dub-dub.
The Samsung Focus Flash with Windows Phone. Now just 99 cents.
Le Mal, The Fragrance for Men by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Available at Macy's, your fragrance destination.
जान पहचान हो जीना आसान हो जान पहचान हो जीना आसान हो.
That's a word?
A ragpole. It's another word for sack.
All right. Read 'em and weep.
Impressive. How about this?
Neanderthal? Brian, your words are hurtful.
Okay.
I'm taking the bus, and you will not see me at the pancake social tomorrow.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You're watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Today is the day. It's the day that I have always dreamed of forever. When you call me the champ of the world.
Welcome back to Mako Bowl, Las Vegas, part of Capital One Bowl Week. These Broncos fans watched their team beat Utah down a year ago. They would have preferred to be, frankly, in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. They really felt like with Moore and this group of seniors going out in a BCS Bowl was something that they had earned. Saw Chris Peterson, Kirk make his angry comments, but they arrived here not in a moping mood and clearly wanted to prove a point.
Well, one team you always know is going to show up with the right mindset is Boise State. We wondered where Arizona State would be, but the opening kickoff set the tone. Doug Martin takes it back 100 yards, and for Arizona State, they dug themselves a hole, and it's been tough for them to really get back into this game. We'll see if the second half things change.
First ever career kickoff return for Martin, who also is an effective runner. We've seen the typical Broncos trickeration as well.
Yeah.
Moore has been super efficient in his final college game. And it's been a frustrating evening for big Brock Osweiler in the Sun Devils offense. This is Rashad Ross dancing around, trying to give his team field position, and it's Ross. Both halves beginning with a kickoff return for a touchdown. No flags. And finally, ASU finds the end zone. Watch a lot of football games and never see that.
No, you won't. You're right. You're right. Start the game, start the second half. You talk about with Dennis Erickson. He's saying that's just what we talked about at halftime. It set the tone early in the second half. And Rashad Ross, I'll tell you what, Chris, talk about some speed. I mean, once he got out into the open field, there wasn't anybody from Boise State that had a chance to catch up to Rashad Ross.
Not bad for a guy as a fill-in kickoff returner with Jamal Miles again, not here for the Sun Devils.
Point after is good.
They won the toss and deferred. This shows you they should have taken the ball.
Yeah.
Begin the game. Very different.
Watch how he maneuvers his way through and sets these blocks up. Great job of just executing the kickoff return by the entire unit from Arizona State. And right there from about the 45 on, there's nobody going to catch him.
Ross is a guy that came from a junior college and has tremendous speed, as you said. Didn't really make an impact until the last few games of the season, and the coaches were regretting that. They wish they had worked him in sooner, and you see why. He's got a chance to be a featured guy next year for us.
Yeah, and they threw the football to him tonight, too. I mean, this has been a game where I think the coaches have shown him a chance to kind of show what he can do in this offense, and there in special teams he has a big impact. But you guys got this offense has Robinson, they've got Willie, they've got Flugrad, kind of a tough unit to be able to break into.
He only had 2 catches the first half of the season, Ross, but 9 in the last couple of games. So we'll see if that little spark can get the Sun Devils defense going.
I mean, it's really going to be about Arizona State trying to get Kellen Moore into some third and long situations. The few times they've been able to get Kellen Moore off the field and bring the punter out is when they've gotten him to 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8, and they've getting a little bit of pressure on him.
This time they just try the onside kick, and Boise State not fooled, and it'll be Kellen Moore taking over in plus territory. First half stats brought to you by American Airlines, and 0 running game. In fact, less than 0 for the Sun Devils on the ground.
And you have got to be able to run the football at least a little bit against this Boise State front. You can see the penalties, something that's bothered Arizona State all year, 6 in just the first half alone. But they set the tone just the way they want with the opening kickoff here in the second half, 98 yards and a touchdown. Now we'll see if this defense, Chris, as you said, they get a little bit of a spark of energy from that return.
More under center, flips it back. It's a backwards pass, and it's Potter.
Complete, number 3, Chris Potter.
Let's go to Tom Rinaldi.
Thanks very much, Chris. Well, the message inside the Arizona State locker room was loud and clear. The coach is not allowing these players to accept the score on the scoreboard at halftime, challenging them. Who's going to make a play? Well, we certainly saw the response there. Talking with Coach Peterson on the way in Boise State, they're familiar with the situation, being up double digits. They've done it multiple times this season. They do a full reset, acting as though the game is 0-0, and playing from that mindset forward. Peterson also challenging his defense. He'd like to see more pressure on Brock Osweiler. Chris?
All right, Tom. Broncos have not been a great defense at pressuring the quarterback since the opener when they sacked Aaron Murray 6 times. That's been a little bit of a weakness.
Well, getting sacks and creating turnovers, something that they had more success early in the year than they had the latter part of the year. It's a nice play, and again, trying to get Doug Martin going here to set up Kellen Moore in the passing game.
Motion the tight end back into the backfield, and Moore hit as he throws, flutters, and picked off. Interception by Colin Parker, and the linebacker into Broncos territory. They got pressure on Moore that time and created the turnover. There's life from Arizona State.
It was a double move, but it was pressured by Will Sutton. And if Sutton doesn't get to Kellen Moore, I think it's another touchdown pass for Kellen Moore. It's a double move. The safety actually bites up right there, and he's got a touchdown. But Sutton gets in there, deflects the football, and there's the leader, Colin Parker, making the play that the Sun Devil defense needs. But give Will Sutton a big-time assist there on that turnover.
First pick of the year for Parker. It's Osweiler at the Broncos 45 on play action. He's pressured and dropped. Billy Wynn, a Las Vegas native, with a play.
Billy Wynn eventually gets in, but they brought the linebacker, the safety, Aloka, off the edge. This is something that's actually lined up in corner. They bring pressure, and nobody is there to pick it up. And not only that, you can see the hesitation there by Osweiler. He was lucky to keep the play alive. He turned his back there on the play action, and Aloka came in, was able to take him away.
You can see Trevor Cole there, the tight end, confused who to pick up on that blitz. Loss of 5. 2nd and 15. Osweiler steps up, delivers over the middle, and making the catch in traffic is Robinson.
Great job of stepping up into the pocket by Osweiler. The starting right tackle, Dan Knapp, checked out the previous play. So Simmons, the backup right tackle, number 50, had to step in. And the first play he comes in, Tyrone Crawford put a lot of pressure on him. And it was a good job of observing that by Osweiler and stepping up into the pocket away from that pressure.
3rd and 4. Osweiler looks left, delivers to Willie, incomplete. Well covered there by Jamar Taylor, and the Sun Devils, Kirk, once again failed to convert on 3rd down. 0 for 7. And look at Osweiler. He's
taking
wild.
over.
He is just
he just told the coaches, forget about it.
He sure did.
You guys aren't going to be here next year. I am. I'm going for this on 4th down.
That is as forceful as a quarterback can get, with both hands pushing the punt team off the field.
Does he have enough players out there? Yeah, he does.
It hasn't mattered. They've had 11 out there and haven't picked up a 3rd down. Can they get a 4th down? Here comes the pressure. Osweiler chucks it downfield, and it's underthrown. They, against all-out blitz, tried to get the ball to Ross. He couldn't fight back inside on the underthrown pass.
We'll see when he comes to the sideline if the coaches have anything to say to him.
So the Sun Devils unable to cash in on the turnover. There's the conversation with Pizzoni, who has a smile on his face. Broncos take over up 18.
It was a classic Vegas night. We dropped our bags in the suite.
We caught the game at Legacy Stadium. We had dinner at Twist. Then we hit the town. Things got a little crazy. One thing led to another, and the next day, Steve tagged me in a photo from the Gold Lounge. It was a blatant violation of the code. So I did the right thing, and I reported him. Don't be that guy.
Report friends and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
So if I find lower prices at another store, you'll match it?
We'll match it. Are you okay?
I'm just saying goodbye to all other stores.
That's how you do it?
That's how I do it.
If you happen to find a lower price, we'll match it. That's more Christmas for your money, guaranteed.
As my world turns, the heartbeat, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
Everyone believes in keeping their promises once a year, but we believe in helping people take steps to keep them every single day. That's why every day we help people across the country get into their first homes, prepare for a comfortable retirement, and protect the people and things that matter most. At Genworth, we believe every day is the right day to take a step toward tomorrow.
Division I student athletes have higher SAT and ACT scores than college-bound students.
The number of us receiving diplomas
is at an all-time high.
African American males who are student athletes
are 10% more likely to graduate.
Still think we're just a bunch of dumb jocks?
You need to do your homework.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
It's the most wonderful week of the year. Capital One Bowl Week continues Thursday, December 29th at 5:30 with the Champ Sports Bowl. Then at 9, it's the Valero Alamo Bowl on ESPN.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Osweiler made a strong statement wanting to keep the offense on the field, but they could not pick up the fourth down conversion. Kay Jewelers bringing you the bowl season storyline so far. 10 Big Ten teams going to the bowl. Of course, you know all about Alabama and LSU. January 9th, the All-State BCS Championship game. We had some close bowl games to begin the season. Mount West struggling, losing the first two before TCU got the conference on the board last night. Moore back to work, flips it to Martin. He picks up about 6.
Pass complete.
Kind of put things in perspective towards that last sequence of events there with the quarterback, Brock Osweiler, saying, hey, we're going to go for this. We're going to go for this. Think about this. His offensive coordinator, the man who he's been putting up all these big numbers for, Noel Mazzoni, he'll be an offensive coach, more likely an offensive coordinator for Jim Mora Jr. at UCLA, competing against Brock Osweiler next year.
This is Martin. Well, Jay Norville is the offensive coordinator for Graham here at Arizona State.
Yeah. Just a very unusual set of circumstances.
And Dennis Erickson, huge fan of Osweiler. He really believes that the big guy is going to have a very strong senior season with the next coaching staff.
No doubt about it. You know, this first.
Should they have taken a timeout, Kirk? I mean, once Osweiler makes this big, just to get the things
think about
down,
the way the second half has started. They get points there, 28-13 or 28-17. It's a totally different game.
Can't stop Martin on 3rd and 1, who busts it into Arizona State territory. HTC drive recap after the Parker interception. They get in position. This is on 4th and about 4, and he says, rather impolitely, and the team gets excited, but they underthrow Ross here.
All-out blitz in his face. They brought one more than the offensive line could handle. He tried to hang in there. He had one-on-one coverage, and the ball was just a little bit short.
There's Mazzoni. He'll be in UCLA next season. And Martin Kirk has reached the 100-yard mark. Ball on the ground, and the Sun Devils recover the fumbled snap. It's Jamar Jarrett. And Moore, who doesn't spend that much time under center,
right,
bobbles it.
Well, and the center is actually trying to pull out of there. And when a center is pulling out of there, quarterback's got to keep his hands in there longer. And for a quarterback that's not used to that, it's a little bit of a problem. Bird is trying to pull out And the quarterback has got to do a better job of riding the center and making sure he gets his hands on the ball. He never touched it with Bird trying to pull out of there. We're 4.5 minutes into this second half. Arizona State has a kickoff return for a touchdown and 2 turnovers. They've got to get points here.
Play action. Osweiler wants to get points right away. Texas shot downfield for Pflugrad, but the ball's underthrown, and Jamar Taylor will draw a flag in coverage.
Wow, late, and it came from the back judge who was aligned in the middle of the field. The official who was right on top of the play didn't make a call. And about 15 or 20 yards away, the back judge threw that, and he threw it in late.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first
Taylor
down.
kind of got the left arm out in front of Pflugrad, who's really been effectively shut down tonight by the Broncos secondary. This is a guy that has the 3 longest pass plays of the year for Arizona State, Pflugrad. Of course, the transfer from Oregon, coach's son, shut out.
He is a go-to receiver in a different way. 5'10", 180 pounds. They try to find seams. They try to get him the ball quickly. And his hands, not very often you're going to see him downfield because they have Willie and Robinson who can do that.
There's the lateral coming in motion. A.J. Pickens, again, one of the guys trying to, along with Middlebrooks, fill that Jamal Miles role tonight. That's an effective gain on first down. They have no running game, so that's effectively a running play.
And it's a big part of the offense. I mean, by stretching the defense out horizontally, it gets them to be able to come up closer to the line of scrimmage, and it just plays in perfectly to what Brock Osweiler wants to do, which is eventually get the ball thrown into the teeth of the defense downfield. Here it is again.
Pickens this side, and Pickens gets a couple of good blocks by receivers and gets down into the red zone for a first down.
Yeah, you and I saw the same thing. I love to see receivers that are willing to block and help their teammates out. Darrell Robinson this time at George Bell, downfield. Good job of sustaining their blocks, and you have got to be able to do that if you want to pick up enough yards to get a first down. And that time they did their jobs, and it gave Pickens enough room there. Back-to-back plays there. They've attacked horizontally.
And now in the slot there, it's Robinson who muscles down to the 5-yard line. No fumble. The ball ruled down. And up-tempo for the Sun Devils and big-time momentum here.
And by having some success side to side, it opens up some vertical seams. And this time they go side to side, back-to-back plays, gets the defense looking out there, and then they hit a vertical seam there. Great job and good reading, getting the ball out of his hands quickly by Osweiler.
7th catch for Robinson, who comes out of the game on first down as Osweiler rolls out, puts it in the flat. That's Cole, who's fighting forward, but will be stopped a couple yards short of the goal line. Taylor on the tackle.
Osweiler that time could have kept attacking. He's an athletic guy at 6'8". He could have kept coming around to the edge and fought to the corner, making the defender actually commit more to him. Then that might have opened up actually not the big fullback, but the receiver behind the fullback, which is Darrell Robinson, who's in the corner of the end zone.
3 in the backfield along with Osweiler. And 2nd and goal. Marshall hammering straight ahead, stopped short. Dennis wants the touchdown, but Byron Hout prevented it. 3rd down.
Pretty big collision there by Howard, by Marshall and Hout.
He's a big back. He's tough to stop.
He's 225 pounds, and we're in bowl season, so maybe up to 230.
See the physical nature of the Broncos' defensive front.
Yep.
But the Sun Devils
gut check time here, boys.
They only need about a foot. Overhead view on 3rd down. Marshall hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Chase Baker combining with Crawford as they beat the blockers, and now it's 4th down.
Well, Baker's been making plays his whole career. He's lined up right over the left guard, 77, and actually just comes around. It's a little move there. And exactly what Tello was thinking there, I'm not sure, but there was some confusion up front, made it very easy for Chase Baker.
Osweiler doesn't have to convince the coaching staff this time. They'll go for it on 4th and goal, but this time Need a yard and a half, and Dennis
Trying to
wants
call
a timeout.
They don't get it, though. Snap the ball.
In the end zone, intercepted, picked off by Taylor, who's going to try to go end zone to end zone as Osweiler gives chase. Momentum back to the Broncos. Should have gotten the timeout. Erickson could see that coming.
That, my friends, is Arizona State season in a nutshell right there. Dennis Erickson, along with about 5 different assistant coaches, trying to get Osweiler's attention, trying to get anybody's attention. You know, you can call, by the way, timeouts in the sideline. I mean, I don't know if they.
The official.
I mean, it couldn't get the officials' attention. They couldn't get anybody's attention.
That's the second time I think that a timeout would have been the prudent thing to do.
Here they are calling timeout, 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 and they go on with the play. They throw it again, the fade, and Taylor makes a great play on it.
So you got a kickoff return for a touchdown, and you've got an interception return for a touchdown, each longer than 100 yards.
It's under review.
Taylor wants to keep that football. They'll review whether or not he got to the end zone.
Let's see if maybe they're reviewing to see if he got the timeout.
We're being told that Erickson believes that he did call it. He was signaling before the snap. Whether or not they saw it is another matter. Here's Erickson on the sidelines. Quick conversation with Mazzoni, signaling timeout. You can see the frustration. Erickson looking. Did he get the officials' attention? You can see Osweiler making the final dive at Taylor's ankles. Erickson frustrated once again with his quarterback. Here's another look at Erickson and Mazzoni. Got with us in the booth here Walter Davenport is an ACC official. Walter, take us through the official's point of view as the coach in the sidelines is trying to get the timeout called.
On that particular situation, the coach could have run down to the sideline and he could have gotten the attention of the officials to call a timeout.
And he could have left
and the head coach, he could have left the box to do it. The head coach, we would have allowed something like that.
In that big a situation, he could have run all the way down to the 5-yard line even.
He was trying to do it verbally. Obviously couldn't get the attention of the official. So what's the judgment on the review here?
Walter, let me ask you this. Can anybody call the timeout, or it has to be the head coach?
It has to be the head coach. It has to be the head coach. And now, unless a player is on the field.
From the bench,
on the field.
Yeah, from the bench. Okay.
Well, clearly no one on the field was calling a timeout.
No, they're locked in, ready to go. Talk about a huge play.
As the conversation continues, see if the touchdown return by Taylor will stand. A crushing blow if it does for Arizona State, which was trying to cut the lead to 11.
And you can see why they tried to call a timeout. A questionable play call there with a fade on 4th and 1.
It's the second time they've thrown a fade on 4th down. Tom, what's your perspective on the field?
Well, Erickson had actually dispatched Jarrell Robinson, who in a full sprint came down the sideline for him, essentially as a surrogate to try to get the attention of the official, who had his back turned inside the 5-yard line. Robinson at about the 15, and the ball snapped. He wasn't able to get far enough nor get the attention, but he understood, Erickson, that that wasn't going to happen. He dispatched Robinson to try to do it for him.
Tom, what's interesting is Walter Davenport telling us here up in the booth with the ACC that it has to come from the head coach.
But he could leave the box in that situation. He could have run out on the field.
Yeah, but not Robinson.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touch that.
So Robinson didn't get there in time to prevent the interception. And they were
so let's add this
inside
up.
the 2-yard line on a few snaps there.
Second half starts with an Arizona State kickoff return for a touchdown to give them a little bit of life. They create a turnover and don't get any points with it. They create another turnover, get the ball down inside the 1-yard line, and not only do they not get points, but they throw a pick six over 100 yards, and we're at 35-10.
Well summarized.
Okay, thank you.
Meineke's personal pricing on brakes.
I tell you what I can spend.
I do my best to make it work.
I'm back on the road safely.
And I saved you money on brakes.
Well, that's personal pricing. My money, my choice, my Meineke.
It's so cool. You can put a force field on them and be invisible.
I call first player.
No.
Well, I already called.
Nobody's playing anything until after we get our homework done. Thank you.
Hello? Test drive's not over yet.
It's practically yours.
Hello?
But we still need your signature.
Right now during Sign Then Drive, it's never been easier to get the all-new Passat, the 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year, for practically just your signature. That's the power of German engineering.
Visit VWDealer.com.
The old standby. The bare minimum. The game changer. Take it to the house with Taco Bell's Taco 12-pack. 12 classic crunchy tacos boxed up and ready for game day. Now at Taco Bell.
How much did you pay for your new car?
What if you could find out what everyone else paid for the car you want before you bought a new car? Well, now you can. Introducing TrueCar.com, the hassle-free, haggle-free, totally free new way to get a guaranteed low price on a new car. Log on to TrueCar.com. Choose the car you want. First, TrueCar.com shows you what others actually paid for the car you're looking for. Then TrueCar.com finds you an even better available price. In minutes, you'll have a TrueCar price protection certificate that you can print out. Take it to a TrueCar certified dealer near you where you can pick up your new car.
I saved $8,300 on TrueCar.com. TrueCar.com was free.
And we saved a heck of a lot of money.
Took 3 clicks and I knew exactly what I was going to pay for the car that I wanted to buy.
The research is done for you by TrueCar.com.
So log on to the hassle-free, haggle-free, totally free way to buy a new car. That's TrueCar.com.
Some mistakes by Boise State had really opened the door for Arizona State to get back in this thing, Kirk, and they had, first and goal down inside the 5. Marshall stopped a couple times, and then the fade pick on 4th down.
Yeah, it was a really poor effort there on the fade. A play that it's very difficult to be able to execute that. I would have preferred to see a guy like Osweiler, who's athletic, maybe you roll him out, give him a chance to run or throw it.
Middlebrooks, let's see if he can create a spark for Arizona State. He's got the corner and it gets out near the 40-yard line. When you have no running game and the Broncos defensive line is shutting down Cameron Marshall, it maybe forces you to make some poor decisions. There's a flag on the return and Arizona State will spoil some good field position.
Yeah, I just, again, I'm kind of mesmerized by, 28-10. It could have been 28-17, and now it's 35-10.
There's Erickson again trying to
timeout.
But again, he's allowed, as we've been told, to get out of the coaching box, run out in the field, tackle an official, do something.
But from the sidelines, it has to come from the head coach, and here's the poor throw on 4th down.
Move the football back to the 11-yard line. Where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Sun Devils.
You're just saying I didn't hear you.
Yes, right on the field down here.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Osweiler pressured, escapes, picks up about 4. If you're Brock Osweiler, you got to be just fuming. You can see he's been so frustrated throughout the last season, and tonight frustrated by all kinds of things. Got to go back to work.
Yeah, I mean, 14-point swing. Now you got to try to keep, in a game that you're losing, you're into the second half. You got to just keep fighting.
But in one play, you go from perhaps cutting it to 11, feeling you have a chance to be in a 25-point hole as he fires for Robinson and makes a nice catch.
It's a tough throw and a nice throw this time by Osweiler.
It's a 6'8" quarterback thrown to a 6'4" receiver.
Boise State dropping their linebackers, pretty good depth. They have 2 safeties behind those linebackers. It's a very, very tight window that the quarterback just has to have a nice touch to throw it over the linebackers and in front of the safeties to his big target.
Travis Stanaway is just a 5'11" safety, so he's overmatched there against Robinson, who makes another catch, and Robinson takes off, hangs onto the ball. It's tomahawk, but it comes out after he hit the ground at the 36-yard line. So Robinson, the connection with Osweiler, effective now.
Dexter Simmons, the nickelback, right here, he starts to cheat up, and he came on the blitz, and Osweiler has got to get the ball out of his hands quickly. It's a little hot route, gets the ball out, and then again, you give the ball to Robinson in space. With his size, he's got good speed.
Couple pass plays to Robinson, and the Sun Devils are threatening again. Osweiler in the pocket and in traffic just delivers, and it's batted away from Bell by Dextrell Simmons.
Boise State now with this big lead, just trying to keep everything in front of them. They don't want to give up an easy play, an easy touchdown. They don't want to let any receivers get behind them. They'll give them some receptions in front of them, then they're going to have to gang tackle and prevent the big play at this point in the game.
Almost intercepted by 2 Broncos as it was tipped in the backfield, and then the diving attempt made by Stanaway.
How about Hout? Byron Hout here playing the middle linebacker. He's had a great year this year for Boise State. Leads them in tackles. Very instinctive. Watch him right in the middle of the field there. Reads the quarterback's eyes and almost gets over there to be able to make that play for an interception.
Hout goes about 240, a little bit under the 6 feet that he's listed as. A high motor guy. He's so active pre-snap, always jumping around. Play clock at 6 on 3rd and 10. Pressured again. They got him with the blitz, and a sack back near midfield by Shea McClellan.
This time they brought Simmons from the exact same spot, and it wasn't Simmons. Simmons is picked up very well by Marshall. It's the stunt up front by the defensive line that eventually got in and got the pressure. You could see some hesitation. McClellan's been consistent all year. That's his 7th sack on the year.
Another promising drive from Arizona State fizzles with the loss of 13. Here's Hubner trying to hang it up. Very short punt. Fair catch at the 20. He said it. So many things tonight have been Arizona State's second half of the season in microcosm. Promising plays, but wasted opportunities.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Mako for quality repairs at great prices.
Mako fixes cars? The same Mako that painted my old Nissan?
Mako makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Mako saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Mako is 33% less. Mako for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your better get Mako.
Talk about easy. I just ordered this laptop online. Now I'm picking it up right here.
Looks like Santa's got some competition this year, huh?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho,
Shop BestBuy.com and get free shipping on everything, or pick it up at any store the same day. And right now, get $150 off select Samsung laptops at Best Buy.
Let's go to Vegas.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go to Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
But maybe we should head back to the dealership first. Because
Vegas.
This is a test drive.
Vegas.
So.
It's practically yours, but we still need your signature. Volkswagen Sign and Drive is back, and it's never been easier to get a Jetta. That's the power of German engineering. Get 0 first month's payment, 0 down, 0 security deposit, and 0 do-it signing on any new Volkswagen. Visit VWDealer.com.
Luck. I don't trade on luck. I trade on fundamentals.
Analysis. Information.
I trade on Trade Architect. This is web-based trading revisualized. Streaming real-time quotes.
Earnings analysis.
Probability analysis. That's what opportunity looks like.
It's all visual.
Intuitive. And it's available free.
Wherever the web is.
This is how trade strategies are built.
Trade Architect. Only from TD Ameritrade. Welcome to better.
Trade commission free for 60 days when you open an account.
The Discover Orange Bowl, January 4th on ESPN.
ESPN College Football, the Mako Bowl Las Vegas, is brought to you by Las Vegas. Ring in 2012 in Las Vegas. Enjoy fireworks, dining, nightlife, and more. Only Vegas. The Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event, where you can drive away in any new 2012 VW for practically just your signature. And Taco Bell. Think outside the box.
Come to Vegas, you got to see some shows. And this is the Jabberwocky show. Alden Darby, the ASU DB, shot a little backflip, and then some of the players were taken backstage and given an opportunity to show what they've got. This is the crew that won America's Best Dance Crew first season. Headlining out here in Vegas. I think the backflip caught him off guard. Professionals. Now they'll try to work Martin, who's got a 100-yard game going, picks up just 2. The Rose Bowl slides to January 2 on ESPN. ESPN presented by Vizio. Monty Ball and the Badgers against the Oregon Ducks. Coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern Time. You and Brent get a chance to watch a great offensive show. 2 great backs.
And Paul Chris, who's taken the pit job, has decided to stay on, finish it off, and be there to call plays for Bielema.
Good move to keep him?
Absolutely, I think.
Or play action on 2nd and long. Fires low, and the catch is made for a first down. There's a flag after they play. Do they hit the quarterback?
I think it's a hold, actually, on the offense.
Potter made the catch.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. 10-yard penalty for previous spot. 2nd down.
Corey Arardi is the center. Flag for the hold. No, I say that because sometimes when a coordinator is taking a head job, as Chris is going to go to Pittsburgh, he maybe hasn't worried about his attention being diverted.
You got Jim McElwain in Alabama, same situation, taking the Colorado State job.
Moore on 2nd long, steps up, takes a shot near sidelines, and it's caught there by Burrows. Had to come back for it, but another episode of coverage conversion for the Sun Devils. 20 next.
Chris, thank you. SportsCenter right now. Colts owner Jim Irsay says if Peyton Manning plays football next season, it will be in Indianapolis. Irsay also said, though, the Colts would take Manning's successor in the draft if the right quarterback is available. Indy, of course, front-runner for the #1 overall pick, and Matt Barkley is staying put. He will return for his senior season at USC, saying the Trojans have unfinished business in 2012.
And Wendy, thank you. This is Bill Sutton, a defensive tackle for the Sun Devils. Up and trotting off now. We talked earlier about Matt Barkley's decision, and you put USC top 2 or 3
I think
season.
Maybe, depending on how the bowl game shuffle sometimes affects next year's preseason rankings, but you look at the way USC finished the year, I think they were playing as well as anybody in the country. Matt Barkley coming back, you know, look at the skill that he has around him. I think they're a top 2 or 3 team in the country without a doubt.
Defense that really improved as the season went on.
Without a doubt.
For Monty Kiffin, a team that, as we talked about earlier, Arizona State really handled earlier this season. Miller shakes free into Sun Devil territory before he's knocked out. Really an impressive freshman. He's going to be catching passes from Kellen Moore's successor for years to come. Scouts Inc.'s top 3 quarterbacks. Robert Griffin III is shooting up the draft board, collecting the Heisman Trophy in the process. And Barkley would have been second to Luck on that board if he had come out.
And Luck is the only one of the 3 that's declared for sure that he's coming. He's going to decide to go in, into the draft, right?
RG3 has not made that official.
Or Jones. Assumption Jones will be back.
Right. Underneath is Efaw. Hammering ahead, close to a first down at the 35.
Going back to your question, about coordinators staying on or leaving. I think it depends on the staff. I don't think you can just make a blanket statement and say, let them go or let them stay. I think it depends on how the rest of the staff has been as involved in preparing a game plan and being involved in the game, that gameplay itself, and calling the plays.
Baldwin collects it, but heavy traffic for the Sun Devils stop him. He does get the first down inside the 35-yard line. Well, let's go back and talk about that Rose Bowl game. Wisconsin stopped short by TCU. Oregon, another opportunity on the big stage. They couldn't beat Ohio State out there, and obviously were beaten by Auburn in the championship game. What sticks out in your mind as you get set to prepare for that one?
Points. I really do. I think that Oregon has a chance with Darren Thomas, LaMichael James, Kenyon Barner and company to get Wisconsin in space and try to attack them, much like they did with Stanford. And I think with Russell Wilson and Monty Ball, I think they've got a chance to be able to attack a very aggressive Oregon defense. And I think you got a chance to see a lot of big plays. You can see the points all year. Wisconsin averaging close to 45, Wisconsin 46. I think that trend could continue in the bowl game.
Interesting BCS matchup. There's another Pac-12 team. Stanford will try to slow down Oklahoma State's high-powered offense. Martin in the flat has a first down near the 20.
Doug Martin has had a busy night tonight. It started with the first play of the game, opening kickoff return for 100 yards and a touchdown. He's been able to run the football tonight now. Let's see, over 100 yards. Been able to catch the ball to the backfield. Just overall a complete game, and when he's healthy, to me, he is as effective as any back in the country.
He's got it again. You can see him cut back. Doesn't look like much, but he picks up 6 yards.
He's so tough to bring down, and I think with there's DJ Harper coming in. One thing about spread offenses is I think that the shorter back, who's a quicker back, sometimes is a better fit for these kind of offenses.
Stand by for some fun here. Once again, the backup quarterback. So this time it's Grant Hedrick, kind of a wishbone little option, and it is a reverse. And taking it is Burrows. Burrows gets around the corner, tiptoes down near the 5-yard line. Whenever you see Kellen Moore come out, you pointed out, Kirk, there's something fun's going to happen.
Here it comes. You just don't know which way it's going. Kellen Moore checks out of the game, and Hedrick comes in, and it's going to be some kind of option attack. Twice tonight we've seen a reverse off of the look when Hedrick is in. One was in reverse pass for a touchdown, and this time they go to a reverse and pick up huge yards for another first down.
Final 30 seconds of the third quarter. One until this drive for Boise State that had not been a good quarter at all. This is Martin, hammered, picks up about a yard, and that should be the final play of the third quarter. Well, Arizona State briefly was back in this thing because a couple of turnovers by the Broncos in the third, but 2 non-offensive touchdowns plus Kellen Moore. It's a 25-point game.
It was a classic Vegas night. We dropped our bags in the suite. We caught the game at Legacy Stadium. We had dinner at Twist. Then we hit the town. Things got a little crazy. One thing led to another, and the next day, Steve tagged me in a photo from the Gold Lounge. It was a blatant violation of the code. So I did the right thing, and I reported him. Don't be that guy.
Report friends and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
With all the opinions about stocks out there, how do you know which ones to follow? The Equity Summary Score consolidates the ratings of up to 10 independent research providers into a single score that's weighted based on how accurate they've been in the past. I'm Howard Spielberg of Fidelity Investments. The Equity Summary Score is one more innovative reason serious investors are choosing Fidelity.
Get 200 free trades today and explore your next investing idea.
With the Name Your Price tool, you tell us what you want to pay, and we give you a range of coverages to choose from.
Who is she?
That's Flowbot. She's this new robot we're trying out, mostly for, like, small stuff.
Wow. Look at her go.
She's pretty good. She's pretty good. Hey, Flowbot. Great job. Oops. Uh-oh, Flowbot is broken.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive. Call or click today.
It's so cool. You can put a force field on them and be invisible.
I call first player.
No.
Well, I already called.
Nobody's playing anything until after we get our homework done. Thank you.
Hello? Test drive's not over yet.
It's practically yours.
Hello?
But we still need your signature. Right now during Sign Then Drive, it's never been easier to get the all-new Passat, the 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year, for practically just your signature. That's the power of German engineering. Visit VWDealer.com.
Okay, so what kind of car should I get? Definitely something with 4 doors. New or used? Used. It's gotta be black.
Now compare new and used cars and even special offers side by side.
Now that's a good deal.
So when you find the right car,
that's the one.
There won't be any doubt in your mind. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
We tried to be like every band we possibly could until we became Maroon 5.
It took us a long time. I mean, we're still working on it, trying to get the best sound that can possibly go out to our audiences. You know, that feeling where you just don't know how it happened, but it sounds incredible to you and the audience. It comes out super clean.
It's never better than that. It doesn't ever get better than that.
Las Vegas will be a scene of great memories for Kellen Moore. Apparently on his way to a second bowl victory, and this is the place, Sam Boyd Stadium, where he surpassed Colt McCoy as the all-time win leader among starting quarterbacks. He's also he's won huge at the craps table this week, Kellen.
Oh, yeah?
No.
No.
Just made that up.
I was going to say.
He stayed away from the casino.
I can't see that.
Almost got you. Second and goal. This little toss here to Harper, who cuts back and scores standing up before 15 yards will be tacked on the kickoff for another personal foul, but
it's all part of it,
from Texas gets in there.
It's all part of a Boise State touchdown. Doesn't have to have a 15-yard personal foul hit.
Corey Adams came over and laid the lumber late.
Personal foul.
What's an NCAA record for personal fouls in a season?
15-yard penalty will be enforced.
Dennis is hoping that his team doesn't challenge that. Perhaps the Miami team down in the Cotton Bowl when they blasted their way to a big win and get it. He had 18 penalties in that game.
That was a different kind of personal fouls that day.
Right. Those were not 15-yard penalties out of frustration. Dennis wears the championship ring from his second national championship at Miami, the one that he shared in the '91 season with Washington when they were undefeated. He won titles down there in his first and third seasons. Moments that he's proud of, but this has been a very painful final 2 months.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Mako for quality repairs at great prices.
Mako fixes cars? The same Mako that painted my old Nissan?
Mako makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Mako saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Mako is 33% less. Mako for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your better get Mako.
Acqua di Gio. Giorgio Armani. At Macy's, your fragrance destination.
The #1 movie in America is one of the best films of the year.
Thank you very much.
Sherlock Holmes completely outdoes the original. Sherlock Holmes, rated PG-13. Now playing.
To everyone who received the beautifully designed Buick LaCrosse during our holiday event, enjoy. To everyone who didn't, well, there's still time. During the Buick holiday event, sign and drive in this 2012 Buick LaCrosse for $318 per month with nothing due at signing. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
The holidays are more amazing when you are the controller.
Buy the Connect Holiday Bundle and get 2 full games, plus tons of entertainment with 3 months of Xbox Live Gold. Only on Connect for Xbox 360. Rated everyone.
As my world turns, the heartbeats, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
It's the granddaddy of them all. Monty Ball leads the Big Ten champs into Pasadena to take on LaMichael James and the Pac-12 champion Ducks. The 2012 Rose Bowl game. Wisconsin, Oregon. Coverage begins January 2nd at 4:30 on ESPN.
An embarrassing end to what's been probably a Hall of Fame coaching career. Dennis Erickson, they wanted to run him out his very first year at Miami when he lost to Florida State, but he went on to win a national championship. Of course, we talked about the championship in '91. He's taken 3 different teams in the Pac-10/12 to bowl games. Came here to Arizona State. He was a conference coach of the year his first year when they got to the Holiday Bowl and lost to Texas. But again, at age 64, as painful and as embarrassing a stretch as he's ever had in his career, apparently on their way to a 5th consecutive loss. And I'd be very surprised if Dennis ever coaches a game after this one, Kirk. He knows that the kinds of opportunities likely to come his way after this game, not that attractive. He felt like his team was emotionally ready. You could see him jumping around. Right. But things like this, just couldn't get the timeout when he tried to call it. Too many mistakes, too many penalties.
Yeah, that was at 28-10 when it looked like they were inside a 1-yard line. They had a chance to get it to 28-17 and all of a sudden have a ton of momentum and only down 11 points, but a 14-point swing really killed, I think, their chances in the second half.
It's Flugrad making a short completion. Taylor on the tackle. Wanted this to be a nice send-off. His mother, Mary, down from Seattle to watch him. His wife, Marilyn, here, and he got a little bit choked up at the luncheon the other day when he talked about the support of his family. He's got a son, Bryce, on the staff here that he's worried about his future. He's got no next job lined up. Ball on the ground, scooped up, and it's a 3rd non-offensive touchdown for the Broncos. This one from Travis Stanaway. And it just gets uglier for the old coach in his finale.
When Hunter White was on his backside on a punt return when Anthony Jones hit him, and I pointed out Jones getting over top of Hunter White. Well, Hunter White gets a little revenge here, being involved in that fumble, creating that fumble before Stanaway picked it up and walked into the end zone.
Once again, Boise State's defense just suffocating, smothering the running game. With that loss of yardage, Sun Devils at minus 15 yards on the ground in this game.
That was a big emphasis, running the football. Crawford fights back to get to the football. He's involved, but there's 25, Hunter White, who's been a player that's been active today. He's on special teams, but he gets he knocks that football loose, and pretty easy, pretty good bounce that time for Stanaway.
And you know, Cameron Marshall, you see the big plays tonight, 3 of them made by the Broncos. Marshall is a tough guy who's fought through ankle and shoulder injuries, and run for 1,000 yards this season, 18 touchdowns, and he has just been absolutely bottled up by that front wall of Boise State. Well, nowhere to run.
No, I mean, minus 15 yards. And they got behind in defense of the running game with 12 yards and 11 attempts. In defense of the running game, they did get behind by, they're down 14, 21 points before they could really get settled into their game plan. So right away they were playing catch up. So that impacted their stats. But they've not been able to control things up front. That veteran defensive line from Boise with McClellan and Baker and Wynn and Crawford have really controlled things up front.
11 carries for the tough guy Marshall, but only 2 of them have been longer than 2 yards tonight. Talked about more going on in style, but this group of defensive linemen, these 5 seniors who all consider themselves starters, Root, McClellan, Baker, Wynn, Crawford, they're going out in style too.
How much fun would it have seen Boise State in a BCS bowl game this year?
Well,
not only are they deserving, but how nice would it have been to see Kellen Moore and this group again in a high-profile game and showing that they can compete with the big boys.
Well, I know that you felt on Bowl Selection Sunday that they were the more logical, better choice, frankly, than Virginia Tech. Oh, yeah. They're ranked well ahead of Michigan and Virginia Tech, who will meet down in New Orleans. Middlebrooks tries to shake loose, steps out of a tackle, gets out across the 45-yard line. Well, Saturday night on ESPN, Capital One Bowl week continues from the islands. Oahu specifically, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, as high-scoring Southern Miss. Austin Davis, veteran quarterback, his final college game against the Wolfpack at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Nevada can score points as well.
They can. They can. Always wonder about the trip to Hawaii. Who's been more focused and not spending time at the beach?
Morrison down the sidelines as Cameron Marshall may have his evening end on a very low note. A frustrating night for the junior, and it's James Morrison, junior from Phoenix, taking a turn. That's by far their best running play of the night. They're trying to get up near plus territory before the game ends.
Another 4 yards.
Sitting at -3 right now. Osweiler looking for Robinson, has him open at a seam, and he's had a big night. His final college game as well. It's 10 catches for the lanky receiver. Well, as you look ahead to 2012, Osweiler won't have 3 of his top 4 guys to throw to. Todd Graham's offense, though, really predicated on timing and rhythm. It'll be an adjustment for the big quarterback.
Yeah, and he does have Osweiler coming back and Marshall, and he is going to have to be able to locate some receivers. His top 3 receivers, as you said, Willie Robinson and Pflugrad, all will be moving on.
Over the middle, Robinson collects this one and stretches for the end zone.
There's the creases that they're trying to find. They have a safety who's in the middle of the field, a little bit of a play action look, but he just beat his man to the inside. It's one of the few times that we've had a chance to see Osweiler throw the ball down inside deep in Boise State territory. They brought a linebacker blitz, and he got matched up one-on-one that time with Fabus. He made a good throw, and they took advantage of that. There's that crease. That's the seams that they love to be able to hit, those vertical seams against defenses. They finally hit one.
First offensive touchdown tonight for the Sun Devils. 13 minutes to go.
It was a classic Vegas night. We dropped our bags in the suites. Booyah! We caught the game at Legacy Stadium. We had dinner at Twist. Then we hit the town. Things got a little crazy. One thing led to another, and the next day, Steve tagged me in a photo from the Gold Lounge. It was a blatant violation of the code. So I did the right thing, and I reported him. Don't be that guy.
Report friends and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
With the Capital One Venture Card, we get double miles on every purchase. So we earned a holiday trip to the Big Apple twice as fast. Dinner! We get double miles every time we use our card. And since double miles add up fast, we can bring the whole gang. It's hard to beat double miles.
I want a mace, a sword, ow!
Get the Venture Card from Capital One and earn double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
I wonder what it can be.
What's in your wallet?
As my world turns, the heartbeat, not only in my chest, but the heart.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in.
Dad, you are not meeting him looking like that.
I look fine. Just a little trouble with a bargain brand cooking spray.
I told you like a gajillion times to use new and improved Pam. It's 70% better than that bargain stuff. See? Look, I gotta go. Pam helps you, like, pull it off.
It's a 403 horsepower, 6.2-liter V8. Nutcracker. The 2011 GMC Sierra. Now during the GMC holiday event, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $500 bonus cash on Sierra, plus 1 year of SiriusXM satellite radio, including every NFL game. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
ESPN College Football, the Mako Bowl Las Vegas, is brought to you by Mako. Mako Collision Repair and Auto Painting Centers repair and paint more cars than anyone. Uh-oh, better get Mako. Las Vegas. Ring in 2012 in Las Vegas. Enjoy fireworks, dining, nightlife, and more. Only Vegas. And the new Capital One Cash Card for people who want 50% more cash.
Give the Arizona State band some credit. You see shots of the pep rally. Even down big at halftime, that Sun Devil marching band was showing at least as much fight as the football team. They were gamers. Osweiler with that touchdown pass to Robinson, breaking the Arizona State single season yardage record, but that'll be a hollow achievement. What's been a really frustrating night for the big guy, capping off a nightmarish second half of the season for a group that was bowl eligible in October. We've talked about it. And we'll enter the Todd Graham era with a 5-game losing streak, barring something bizarre in the fourth quarter here. It's a short kickoff taken on the hop by Harper. DJ gets across the 25-yard line. Kellen Moore in his career has never had a bad game, says Chris Peterson. Never had a bad game. He walks in for his final college game. He's talking to you while he's throwing balls in warm-up. Hadn't yet thrown a touchdown, but he kicked a little pooch punt and then finally gets one to Shoemaker. Second one to Miller here. And the stats being updated as we speak. Never a bad game in a game that's 53.
When you're 50-3 and you're 5 points away from being 53-0.
Yeah.
That's about as close to perfection as I think we've ever seen.
Moore and this group of seniors, some of whom have been a big part of 4 years of success. If you think about it, there was the narrow losses as we check the Dove Men Plus Care quarterback spotlight. Very important, most important moment of the night here for
Dove Men Plus Care.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can't do another year. He's done. It'll be somewhere else making money. You know what Kellen was doing when RG3 was winning the Heisman Trophy, and I know Broncos fans were disappointed he didn't get the invite as dictated by the voters to be a Heisman finalist again this season. You know what he was doing? That Heisman Day?
I do.
I bet you people out there,
they will never know.
Making a gingerbread house at home. Wife Julie.
Is that his way of boycotting the Heisman?
No. It wasn't boycotting it. He said he was very
I hope they get a first down.
Impressed by RG3.
We need to talk about their left tackle. See if they get a first down here. Keep this drive alive.
Oh! Shot as the ball bounces off the hands. The receiver, Darby and Elder colliding. What did you want to say about
I want to talk about Nate Potter.
Okay.
Running off the field. He's going to be maybe a first rounder next year. Left tackle. They've had a couple left tackles the last few years come out of Boise. Yep. Nate Potter, an All-American, first-team All-American, and academic All-American, and he's from Boise.
Yeah,
and that's pretty impressive.
He looked like he was born to sit up there in a coat and tie. He was at the press conference all dressed up. Then he ripped it off and put that golf shirt on as soon as he could get away from the podium. It was a little rugby punt. Just get away from it. And he said that afterward, he admitted, I looked down, there was this suit jacket on the ground. He said it was the community team big guys blazer, which that everybody wears when they have to do something official. And he couldn't get it off fast enough to throw it on the ground.
Looked like a 5-year-old in a suit, just wanted to get out of it.
Capital One Bowl Week continues through January 2nd.
Meineke's personal pricing on brakes.
I tell you what I can spend.
I do my best to make it work.
I'm back on the road safely.
And I saved you money on brakes.
Well, that's personal pricing. My money, my choice, my Meineke.
10 tons of towing heavy
Axle loading 6, gears are shifting 8, pistons pumping, Sirius XM, and a rear locking differential.
The GMC Sierra, the truck that keeps on giving. Now during the GMC holiday event, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus 500 bonus cash on Sierra, plus 1 year of Sirius XM satellite radio, including every NFL game. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
JCPenney knows you still haven't bought or anything yet, but for looking at these great gift ideas, we're going to show you this. Okay, Bart, what's your wish this year? A few sacks?
Can't wait.
Championship?
Can't wait.
Ticker tape parade?
You know I can't wait.
Take a picture.
Santa's real, y'all.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-205-0513. That's 1-800-205-0513.
A one-point game. Dylan Moore, the redshirt freshman, throwing it, and it's intercepted. TCU wins it.
No good. This is turning into a disaster. Nevada with the win. Mighty Boise has gone down.
And it is no good. The Frogs have beaten Boise.
Looking almost certainly like it'll be win number 50. We showed you the 3 losses by Moore as a starting quarterback. Missed field goals, prominent in all of them.
Crazy.
A poinsettia ball back in 2008 against TCU. Horned Frogs have gotten him twice as the Broncos try to get Osweiler here. He fires on the sidelines, catch made by Pflugrad at the 25. So 3 losses by a total of 5 points. The TCU one especially painful this year. That was a great drive down the field by the Horned Frogs, the 2-point conversion to tie it, but then Moore did get him in field goal position before Goodale misfired.
And the Boise State defense didn't really play up to what you would expect from them.
Osweiler over the middle, and Robinson is wide open, spinning free, and running inside the 30. Flips another tackle and gets down inside the 20. So Robinson on the stat sheet's going to have a monster night, better than it actually was in reality.
Well, they're just the one thing you got to love. There are a few guys in the Arizona State team that aren't quitting. They're competing. Robinson is one of them. Osweiler's the other. I mean, these guys are playing, and they don't care about the score. They're just out there executing and trying to put up more points. They're not looking at that scoreboard.
You go back to the Arizona game, Kirk, that's more than 400 yards. 2 out of the last 3 games for Robinson. It's Morrison with the incompletion.
Just to finish off on Moore with those close losses, the 3 losses, the other thing, in an era where we always debate, is Boise State or a TCU capable of competing with the big boys? Kellen Moore tonight, after he wins tonight, will finish 6-0. Against teams from BCS conferences.
Yep.
Including beating Oregon twice, knocked off Virginia Tech basically on the road. They played him in Washington, D.C. They beat Georgia this year in the Georgia Dome, and they beat Oregon State. I mean, it's pretty good.
By the way, in those wins against the BCS AQ teams coming in the 5 previous, 13 touchdowns and 2 picks. Can add 2 interceptions tonight, more touchdowns as well. Now, how do you follow the all-time winning quarterback in college football? The contenders would be Joe Southwick, who's a sophomore, the redshirt freshman Grant Hedrick, who's gotten in a couple times tonight. They've got a guy named Jimmy Lockery, who's redshirting, and an incoming freshman who's going to be on campus in January, named Nick Patty from Orlando to compete. You see Southwick on the headset. Tough act to follow.
It's going to be an interesting spring ball in Boise between the defensive line replacements and a quarterback situation.
Clock ticking down. Did Osweiler get it off? Well, he's knocked down anyway. Get another sack and still playing inspired football is Drew Alroot, who's the vocal character of that defensive line.
Again, they bring the pressure with the nickelback Simmons, but it's not Simmons who gets in there. It's just a defensive line with some twists and some movement, but just collapsing the entire pocket. And you can see Osweiler, he just waved the white flag. He just ducked. He had nowhere to go.
Well, speaking of the white flag, here comes the field goal attempt from Alex Skarut from 40 as they try to chip away the 32-point lead here. They call timeout.
Timeout, Arizona State.
But it is 4th and 16. I don't like their chances of converting.
We talked so much about Kellen Moore. Can we mention at least Chris Peterson? Since 2006, when he started in his first year as a head coach, they went 13-0. The infamous Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. That was his first year. After tonight, he'll be 73-6 as a head coach. 73-6, and he's 2-0 in BCS bowl games. And every year he's going somewhere else. Every year this time of year he's going to become a head coach somewhere else. And every year he stays at Boise State.
UCLA was rumored this year.
Yeah, and they're going to move into the Big East next year. Chance to be in a BCS conference.
Year after next.
I apologize. But a chance to at least compete and no longer have to be in that debate. Should they be? Should they not be? But Chris Peterson, and you talk to his peers, all of them from every region. First guy that they point to is Chris Peterson for one of the coaches that they admire around the country.
You think 4 consecutive 12-win season, which has never been done before, by the way. And they do feel like they deserve better. And Osweiler off the ground picks up the snap and is dropped. The offensive line just being overrun by the Broncos. That's Billy Wynn. Again, Las Vegas native with his second sack, and there's a big fella limps off. So they called timeout, went for it after thinking about it, and it didn't really matter.
Can't get the snap.
No. Monday on ESPN2, Advocare V100 Independence Bowl. We talked about Missouri and the Tar Heels. 5 o'clock DC time. You got another team on the move. So much transition in college football. So many coaches on the move with Fedora going to Chapel Hill. We talked about that. Missouri
Withers going
taking
to Ohio
off
State.
the SEC.
Yeah.
Callen's still in there and pitching it. Ball is caught by Dallas Burrows.
You're going to give him maybe one final drive here.
The curtain call series.
She said, just don't get hurt.
His wife, Julie. And the Broncos fans all on their feet. Number one, because it's cold, but also because I think they're eager to sort of take in the last 8.5 minutes of the Kellen Moore era and this group of 21 seniors who together have accomplished so much and taken this program to unbelievable heights. And as you said, well, it really is a shame that it's on a bigger stage that they can conclude the season on. Because this is a BCS-worthy team for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And in an era when it becomes about ticket sales or other things besides the quality of the team.
Is big.
And they rank well ahead of both Michigan and Virginia Tech, the teams that will meet in New Orleans.
Kansas State finished 10-2. There are a lot of people that thought the Wildcats and Bill Snyder might be a BCS at large team.
Tape on the ankle of Osweiler. Got tweaked in that sack in the last series. Moore flips it back. Moldavine collects it, almost bobbled it, and takes a hit as he gets near first down yardage. Parker on the tackle. I want to see one more brother-to-brother connection. You know, here's Kirby Moore. He had the ill-fated pass attempt. He's caught a couple of balls tonight. But again, just that one touchdown.
Maybe that's why he's still in
this season. He caught a couple in 2009. Although Kellen said one of them, his first career touchdown, caught by little brother, he'd wandered into the wrong area. He had run the wrong route and just happened to be there to catch the touchdown pass.
I don't know. You think about Kirby Moore as a sophomore next year. He's going to miss his brother. Everyone's going to miss his brother.
Going to miss this guy too. As Martin almost busted another one, a shoestring tackle by Keelan Johnson, but 16 more yards for another senior who's going out in style.
Power player. They pull that backside guard around, and Doug Martin just continues to get better and better as the game goes on. He's up to 131 yards. Brent Peace, the offensive coordinator, telling us as we get ready for this game, Chris, that his goal was to get Doug Martin 25 touches. And it's pretty close to that. You include the receptions and special teams, and he's closer to 30.
Set the tone tonight. He'll finish his career with a 4th consecutive 100-yard game. He's got it again. Toss sweep. He's still running hard. You can see how much desire he shows. He only knows one gear.
Oh, he's anytime, and he's the same way in practice, and that's what really makes him the kind of back that he is. Boise State knows how to find players that fit their system. Here's a guy that's probably told by a lot of people his whole life he's too small. He's not quite big enough to play at a big-time program. Just like almost everybody else in that huddle's been told something. You're not big enough, you're not fast enough, whatever it is. They find those guys that have a chip on their shoulder collectively, and they put that out on display, and they all play with one heartbeat. And Doug Martin really embodies that attitude as well as anybody.
See, only 3 active players have more touchdowns in the FBS. That's a first down as Martin hurdles that barrier from the far sidelines. Broncos fans show their appreciation for the effort.
That was about as good a 3-yard carry as you're going to see. This is for a first down. Look at a little shake there. See the fast twitch, and then he goes up and over. But before that play started, he had to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, this team is going to be told next year, there's no way you can sustain.
They love that. They feel
Kellen Moore's gone, Martin's gone, all those defensive linemen are gone. People are going to tell the Broncos who are returning that they can't do it again next year. This is Burrows, a guy who will be back next year.
Don't bet against him. When they lost Jared Zabransky, and they had a lot of great teams and a lot of great games, a lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to replace Jared Zabransky, and a lot of them, not just Zabransky, but a lot of players around him. And here, Kellen Moore stepped up. People looked at him in his uniform and said, who's this guy? This is the quarterback, Kellen Moore? And there'll be a guy next year. And Chris Peterson told us, whatever the strengths of our starting quarterback, if he's an athlete, we'll adjust our system to his athletic ability. If he's a thrower, then we'll adjust our strengths of his to him being a passer.
Martin has it again. Still running hard. Gives up another first down.
Just, they open up with Michigan State in East Lansing next year, which, there'll be a lot of naysayers, which they love. They just feed off of that.
But you're right, they'll be underdogs with all those new faces and a new quarterback heading into the East Lansing. They have almost an entire defense. There's a couple guys. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Herbie, you give it.
I gave them credit.
They're mad at a lot of people.
Not me.
At ESPN. Not you.
Not me.
You're not running for office, are you?
No. I've been driving that bus for about 3 years.
Martin still running hard, bouncing sideways. Makes a few more tackles. Hey, that was a printed sign. That wasn't anything homemade. No. Somebody went to like a printer and had your little tribute sign printed up there.
There's some of it used to be fun. The BCS selection show. There are a couple of our friends that put them down at like 9 or 10 in their.
Can't they get your picture on there? So couldn't they have taken a shot off the internet and put it on that banner for you?
I say nothing. I see 3 minutes to go here. 49-17. They're still trying to get another touchdown.
If you add in the kickoff return, Martin now has more than 300 total yards. This is Martin. Dragged down and flags fly as they got the face mask.
Or the horse collar.
Yeah. Oliver Aaron may have gotten the back of the neck.
Now we got Arizona State. One player picked up a flag and threw it.
That'll usually cost you another one.
Yeah. Eddie Elder picked up a flag, and I don't know if he was throwing it at an official or just kind of throwing it in frustration. Guessing that might be the...
Yeah, well, it'll be half the distance on the first
So what are you
penalty.
doing? You have 2 personal fouls on 1 play, and you're already half the distance.
You say not again.
Half the distance, half the distance?
You just say, if you're Dennis, you say not again.
On the play.
2 personal fouls. Oh, it's
Face mask. Defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Dead ball. Unsportsmanship-like conduct. Number 6 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So they're going to march backwards. There's been a lot of assistance given. That's 8 penalties of 10 or more yards. There's the face mask.
Yeah.
He got their money's worth against Martin. Yeah.
And then Elder picked the flag up and just kind of nonchalantly threw it.
Yeah, they said 6, which is Shelley Lyons.
I think the flag may have hit Elder, and he kind of picked it up and caught it and just kind of threw it.
So you want to get Kellen Moore 1 final touchdown pass in his career, or you want to give Martin 1 more
Is his brother in the
rushing
game?
touchdown?
Depends if his brother's in the game.
If you see Kirby Moore.
Well, Doug Martin doesn't have a rushing touchdown tonight. You got to get him a rushing touchdown.
High formation with Shoemaker in motion. They get the jumbo formation, and they hand it off to Martin, who hammers into the end zone. There was the missing piece, the kickoff return to start it, the touchdown run to finish it.
He's done a lot of work tonight. The least they could do is let him finish off one of the drives.
They also put Kellen under center a lot in that drive just to show he could do that. With the fumbled snap earlier tonight. It gives him 302 all-purpose yards for Martin. That's a Mako Bowl Las Vegas record. And there's the extra point to make it 56, and it's a new bowl record for points scored. 3 non-offensive touchdowns and a monster night for the senior tailback and the senior quarterback.
An accident is nerve-wracking enough. Then there's the hassle and the cost.
I'm an insurance agent, and I trust my local Mako for quality repairs at great prices.
Mako fixes cars? The same Mako that painted my old Nissan?
Mako makes it easy, with convenient services like a rental car, and they're fast.
Mako saved me so much, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
Now save even more.
Compared with other body shops and dealers, Mako is 33% less. Mako for great work, great prices, and fast service. Whatever your uh-oh, better get Mako.
On my journey across America, I've learned that when you ask someone in Texas if they want big savings on car insurance, it's a bit like asking if they want a big hat. Excuse me. Or a big steak. Or big hair. I think we have our answer.
If I could separate what's real from what I've been dreaming, I could live to fight another day.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Sherlock Holmes is back.
You should count yourself lucky.
And it's the #1 movie in America.
Oh, embrace me.
So good, you'll have to see it twice. Sherlock Holmes. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
My name is Marjorie Reyes, and I'm a Chief Warrant Officer. I love the fact that Quicken Loans provides VA loans. Quicken Loans understood the details and guided me through every step of the process. I know wherever the military sends me, I can depend on Quicken Loans.
I got an extended return policy. What do you got?
Get extended returns through January 24th with no restocking fees and no exclusions at Best Buy.
Guess Seductive Armor, the new fragrance for men. Give the gift of seduction with the Guess Holiday Gift Set, available at Macy's, your fragrance destination.
The old standby, the bare minimum, the game changer. Take it to the house with Taco Bell's Taco 12-pack. 12 classic crunchy tacos boxed up and ready for game day. Now at Taco Bell.
This gray blending took off about 10 years in just 10 minutes. So how do you feel?
Dude.
Dude.
Get in, get confident.
Dude.
Supercuts every time.
He showed up, Kirk, looking about 11 years old. Number 11, get his first career win at Idaho State. Some big wins over the BCS AQ teams. He beat the Hokies once, of course.
Oregon a couple times.
And Georgia to start the season. Heisman finalist a year ago. Breaking all of Boise State's records. Another monster year this year, but finished 8th in the Heisman voting. Senior day was emotional. Final time on the blue rug, and tonight, career win number 50. Had 3 turnovers. Wasn't a perfect game. Didn't have to be. And there's big Nate Potter. And Kirk, it seems like it goes by so fast. And Kellen's told us that it's so many good memories, and his role will change, and he still has, as we talked about, a burning desire to prove people wrong. He, of course, is the Capital One player of the game, 7 yards shy of 300. But you said do not bet against this guy being able to make an impact.
I think once he gets a chance to really fine-tune his preparation and learning how to get underneath the center and work on his drops and get his timing and rhythm down from being able to come from under center, that'll be a big part of his development and getting ready for the next level. I'm not saying he's going to walk in and be a starter, but you look around the NFL at some of the second and third string quarterbacks, you're telling me a guy that makes as quick a decisions as he does, and he's as accurate as Kellen Moore. There's a place in the NFL for Kellen Moore. And I could care less if he gets drafted in the 2nd round, 6th round, 7th round, or free agent. It's a matter of just getting a chance to get on a team, and if he does, there isn't an offensive coordinator in his right mind that's going to chase him away.
Oswater to Pflugrad. Saw that coverage of the trophy ceremony will follow on ESPN3. Broncos fans, almost all of them have stayed to give one final salute to Moore and this group of seniors for all they've done.
A lot of hugs going on down there. It's the end of a great run, great era.
And on the other side, very deflating end of the Dennis Erickson era. Robinson, another catch, takes a big shot. Guy that we talked about the credentials that suggest he would certainly be a candidate for the Hall of Fame. But very few fairy tale endings for coaches in their career. Ask so many guys, Dennis Erickson's colleagues, they'll tell you the same thing. He's been carried off as a national champion twice. Oregon State just embarrassed Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl when he coached in Corvallis, helped rebuild Washington State. Almost intercepted, but there's no way to call his tenure in Tempe a success at all. They able to get to 2 bowl games in that time, not win one.
I thought it was interesting, Brock Osweiler telling us yesterday that their entire offseason was built to Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl. They really felt that they had the talent, and I think you and I agree that there's the physical talent. This is a team that beat USC. They have the talent to get to the Rose Bowl. And when they went to 6-2 and then eventually lost to UCLA, I think this team shut it down. I think they put all their eggs in one basket, and I think they shut it down. And that's the toughest part to deal with this year. I do. I mean, when I say shut it down, Wazoo shouldn't have been on the same field with them.
I agree.
But Arizona shouldn't have been on the same field with them. Cal could compete with them a little bit, but they're still better than Cal. I'm talking about physically. So
when you say shut it down,
I'm talking about when they hit a rough spot in the game, how do you handle it? And after they lost that game to UCLA, I think it took all the wind out of their sail as far as their fight, as far as their determination.
They would say that they continue to, as there are flying flies in the secondary, continue to work hard and compete and show fight. But this was a team that was unable to reverse a slide. Once they faced adversity, a bad play in a game, they couldn't pull out of it.
I just think
Ball would be placed.
You look at
spot as
Vontaze
foul.
Burfict
Automatic
as an
first down.
example. Here's a guy that some people felt was the National Player of the Year before the season started, and he has a lot of issues, and he's one of your leaders, you know, and I think his attitude is a reflection of some of the other players on this team. And
But
I think
they were in so many games.
I know they're in games, but Chris, personal fouls, missed tackles, missed assignments, that's what I mean by quit. You're not preparing. It's one thing to show up on Saturday and try to win a game. It's another thing, Monday through Friday, what are you doing in the film room? What are you doing to get yourself ready to play disciplined football? I think they lost their will to fight in that regard and compete and prepare. That's where you win games, Monday through Friday. You don't win a game on Saturday, show up against Washington State, who you're better than, and feel like, hey, we competed. I'm talking about competing Monday through Friday. And I think after they lost to UCLA, they stopped competing.
There was that 3rd and 29 conversion by the Bruins that turned it all around for Arizona State. The Bruins made that first down, won the game. The Sun Devils haven't won since. There's a completion in the flat to George Bell, who scoots in with half a minute to go for an oh-by-the-way touchdown.
And right now, I mean, you can look at Osweiler and say he's competing, and he is. I mean, this offense is, all night they've been trying to make plays. He's fighting through, looks like a bit of an ankle injury, limping around out there, but still they put up 24 points against Boise State.
And George Bell, by the way, who was a senior, hadn't had a touchdown all season, finally gets one in the final 30 seconds of the bowl game. Almost a 400-yard game and a lopsided loss for Osweiler. Christmas Day, once again, opening day, the delayed start of the NBA season. A couple games on ABC, Heat and Mavs at 2:30, Bulls and the Lakers at 5. Then over to ESPN at 8 o'clock, Magic and Thunder, followed by the Clippers and the Warriors. Also available on ESPN 3.
I think the biggest area that Todd Graham is going to have to address with this team, they're going to have talent. Dennis Erickson has left him some players. But I think the big thing is what I just talked about. I mean, he's going to have to work in the offseason, winter conditioning. The first day that he shows up as the head coach and Dennis Erickson and the staff moves on, he's going to have to make sure he sets a tone about discipline, about commitment, about sacrifice, about being a good teammate. I mean, those are the things that if you look at teams like Alabama and LSU and the teams that win year in and year out, that's what they have. And this Arizona State team doesn't have it. How about the pregame warm-up? I mean, just you've got to find more discipline on this team if they want to be serious about competing with the better teams in the country and their own conference.
You sensed in the pregame warm-up that perhaps there was more intensity
on the blue side
than
just a little bit.
Well, I think you're right. I felt for years that this Arizona State program was perhaps one of the best positioned to challenge USC in the Pac-12 year in, year out. Why not Arizona State?
A lot of people in kind of the coaching fraternity think that Arizona State's potentially a sleeping giant.
Exactly.
You know, with the facilities.
Other guys have felt that too. Hunter White on the kickoff return. And there'll be one final snap for number 11. Seconds tick down on an incredible career as he stretches his all-time record for wins by a starter to an unsurmountable 50.
Chris Peterson.
Oh, there's the blue Gatorade bath.
So what do you think? Do they take a knee and call a timeout and let Kellen Moore go off the field?
Well, assuming he doesn't throw another pass, this will be the final career passing stats. 142 and 28 TD-INT for his career.
Not bad. Another record that'll probably never be taken down.
And an undefeated record in his career against the so-called big boys, the BCS AQ teams. 56, a new record for points scored in the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas. And for Dennis Erickson, a painful final walk. And an end to 4 decades in coaching. It's all this guy has ever known. He's been to the mountaintop a couple of times, but this is the lowest of lows.
Yeah, tough way for his season.
As the fireworks, let's sit down at Tom Rinaldi is with Kellen. Tom?
Chris, thanks very much. Kellen, as the clock was ticking down to 0, I saw you exchange a lot of embraces with fellow teammates. What was going through your mind?
Oh, it's just been a special 4 or 5 years. A lot of people helped us get to where we were, and can't thank them enough.
How do you describe where this program was to where you leave it in the time you've been here?
Well, I think the goal is always, you know, the progress where you are when you come in, and hopefully you elevated it and took it to a whole new level.
What are you most proud of?
Just taking advantage of opportunities and sharing this with people you care about.
You've heard the doubts. You've heard it a lot of your football playing life. You don't have the prototypical size. You don't have the prototypical arm strength necessarily. There's people who repeat those doubts to you now about the next level. What's your message to them?
I've done it before. I'll be excited about the next step, and it'll be a challenge. I'm looking forward to it.
Finally, we saw your brother throw a pass in this football game. How would you critique that?
I owe him because I was supposed to protect him.
50 wins. We may never see it broken. Congratulations, Kellen.
All right, thank you very much, Tom.
Chris.
And the Broncos fans joining the pile here to celebrate an emphatic bowl win, Kirk. We'll see what the future holds for Kellen Moore at the next level and for the Broncos next season.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting transition period for Chris Peterson, not only with Kellen Moore, but the defensive line. They're going to lose a lot of great seniors. We'll see what
Another win
happens
for Peterson and a lot of work to do in Tempe for Todd Graham. Coming up next is Sports Center for live coverage of the trophy ceremony. Go over to ESPN 3. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, for Kirk Herbstreit, Tom Rinaldi, and our entire crew here in Las Vegas. I'm Chris Fowler. So long for now. Let's get you over to Sports Center.
This Sports Center telecast is brought to you in high definition by Vizio.
But the 2012 team has some serious, unfinished business to attend to, and I intend to play a part in it.
This is Sports Center.
Decision day for Matt Barkley. Why staying at USC another season makes sense, and how the NFL draft will be impacted. Plus, Kellen Moore lands a record 50 wins. But is the Boise State quarterback NFL ready? The Texans hope to clip the Colts. Would losing be the right move for the Colts? Who is Herm Edwards picking in the battle for New York? And Chris Berman has his Week 16 picks, and why Boomer says the Eagles beat the Cowboys.
If you can play through the pain, if you can, catch a ball, pass the ball, things like that, it should be fun.
3 days until tip-off to the NBA season. Kobe says he should be ready to play on Christmas Day. So how would a banged-up Bryant impact the Lakers' offense? Heavy night on the college hardwood. The top 3 teams in action. Plus, did any undefeated teams take a tumble? Sports Center, why wait?
Houston, hello. What happened? Welcome into Sports Center. Brad Weinstein, Linda Cohn. We'll have a recap of Boise State's rout in Vegas. But people of Indianapolis, did you enjoy that win?
Yeah, you know what, Bram? While others prefer sewing up playoff berths this time of the year, the Colts knew a loss to the Texans tonight would earn them the #1 overall pick in April's NFL draft. But they had other plans. Who cares about Andrew Luck? Welcome to the Luck sweepstakes, Vikings and Rams. Texans 0-9 all-time at the Colts. Peyton Manning started all 9 of those. First play from scrimmage, Brian Cushing. Brian Cushing, can someone block Brian Cushing? He sacks Dan Orlovsky. Orlovsky fumbles. Texans recover. Orlovsky came in 1-2 entering the game as a starter for the Colts. Cushing hitting Orlovsky hard. First down, Texans. You thought this was the direction this game was going to go. Colts make a mistake. Texans capitalize because their ensuing possession, Arian Foster, who already came in with 1,000 rushing yards on the year, there's a gain of 8, and he gets inside the Colts 10. The very next play, Foster. Oh, it's so simple for Arian Foster. 7-0 Texans. You see what I mean? Yeah, easy stuff, right? Second quarter, hold on. Colts within 7, 10-3. Reggie Rain trying to get Orlovsky's attention because he's got single coverage. 3rd and 3, Orlovsky, doesn't throw his way. Incomplete. How about Wayne? Frustrated. Of course he is. And he'll talk to Dan Orlovsky and explain why he's frustrated. And then he'll talk to Peyton Manning, who seems to know what Wayne was hoping to do. 14 seconds left in the second quarter. Colts are driving again. Orlovsky This time, he is throwing to Wayne. End zone pass, incomplete. Wayne never saw that ball coming. He's not thrilled with this. Oh, yeah. What? You were throwing it to me now? Then? Why? What? Oh, no. Peyton? Your thoughts? Colts had their chances, but trailed just 10-6 at the half. Let's go right to the fourth quarter. Texans lead by 1. TJ Yates looking for Kevin Walter. Incomplete. There's a flag. Antoine Bethea called for a personal foul. Bethea, what happened? Hit Walter, helmet to helmet. First down, Texans. Later in the drive, it's third and, yeah, it was. Later in the drive, 3rd and 5, Yates. Over the middle for Walter again. Now bounces around a few times. Somehow this is caught by Jacoby Jones. What an alert play. What focus. Take another look as the ball is going to bounce off Walter, then 2 Colt defenders, then right to Jones. And a lot of cutaways here of Peyton Manning because you want to know his reaction to every big play in this game. Texans kick a field goal. They lead 16-12. First down, Orlovsky to Pierre Garçon. First down, Garçon, smart play, gets out of bounds. Later in the drive, clock ticking, 1:45 to go, 3rd and 10 from the 33. Orlovsky, Jacob Tamme, big first down. Later in the drive, 3rd and 7. This does not look like a team that wants the first overall pick. Orlovsky, he hits Reggie Wayne. He's down to the Texans' 20. Later in the drive, Orlovsky. This time incomplete, but J.J. Watt is called for roughing the passer, giving the Colts a first down. Now, after that big penalty, 3rd and goal now from the 6, Orlovsky over the middle for Tamme, but Glover Quinn called for, you got it, pass interference, giving the Colts a first down. Next play, Orlovsky, the fade, there's Reggie Wayne. There's a Colts touchdown. There's a 19-16 Colts lead. There is rejoicing. Are you rejoicing in Indianapolis tonight? Colts have a 2-game winning streak, Graham. That's right. The Colts have a 2-game winning streak. In fact, one of 3 teams in the NFL right now to have winning streaks, along with the Patriots and the Chargers. And never before in the NFL has a 1-victory team beaten a team with 10 or more wins, which is an amazing feat. And that is why we have to bring in Herm Edwards to talk about this big win for the Indianapolis Colts, coming back to take out, what's up with the Houston Texans? Herm, what is your take on this big win by the Colts over the Texans?
Well, obviously, you can see this team still wants to play football and win football games. And I like the joy these guys had when the game was over with. Now, if you're Houston, you have to be concerned. I mean, obviously, this is a game you play on the road, but you're really the better football team. You should win this game. TJ Yates is your quarterback. I understand that. But what happened in this football game, it was very simple. They were very conservative on offense. When you think about what they did on offense, on 3rd down, they were 1 for 10 and 11 penalties, 3 in the last drive. That gave the Colts the ability to score a touchdown there at the end. So if you got to be concerned. You're a playoff team, the Houston Texans right now, and you are really sputtering going down the stretch, and you play an Indianapolis Colts team that you should beat, and you lose on the road. There's got to be some concern right now with the Houston Texans.
Herm, they lost to Carolina. They lost to Indianapolis. They needed a near miracle to beat Cincinnati the week before. What can they do with this offense to improve as the playoffs approach?
Well, they're putting a lot of pressure on their running game, rightly so. They've got 2 fantastic runners, but they've got to be able to throw the football some, a little bit more than what they tried to do tonight. And they were putting a lot of 3rd and longs, and when you get behind the chains, you got to throw. And the problem when they got in 3rd and long situations, it was more checkdowns. They don't want the quarterback to lose the game. I understand that, but you got to throw the ball a little bit more on 1st down to open this offense up, because if you continue to play like this, you're going to be in the playoffs, but you're not going to last very long.
All right, we know the Texans have some issues offensively, but I want to get back to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, let's say you're a part of this organization, and they go out and they really play hard in this game. They obviously try to win this game. They now have made the Luck Sweepstakes a 3-team race. Along with them, of course, I mentioned earlier, the Vikings and the Rams. What are your thoughts on this and the way they played this tonight?
Well, I like their effort, and obviously when you're a coach or a player, you're not concerned about your draft pick. I mean, maybe the fans might be, but players and coaches like to win. I mean, that's part of the process. And even though you've only won 1 game going into this one, you still would like the opportunity to win. You got to give the coach a lot of credit, Coach Caldwell and the staff. They did a great job at home.
winning a football game that a lot of people thought they were going to lose. I did not think the Indianapolis Colts were going to beat the Texans tonight. But you got to take your hats off to them. They won a football game. They're having a lot of fun right now, I believe it, in that locker room.
Got the Jaguars next week, so there's a possibility of a 3-game win streak to end the season.
3 in a row.
And that would take them completely out of the, well, we think take them out of the Andrew Luck Sweep 6. We'll see. As for the Texans, I want to put your coaching hat back on for a moment here. They got to get their confidence back. They've lost to a couple of teams with very bad records over the last couple of weeks. What are you saying to this team to get their confidence back with the playoffs approaching?
Well, obviously, they got to look within now. And the quarterback is who they have. They felt going into this, he could help them win football games, especially down the stretch. And right now, you got to get his confidence back, too. And I think you can't put it all on your defense and your running game. You've got to be able to throw the football some with this quarterback. And if you don't do that, you're not going to last very long in the playoffs. And you're right. They've lost a couple in a row right now. And they've got to be scratching their heads if you're the Houston Texans. We talked about it every year, Houston making the playoffs. Well, it's not just good enough to make the playoffs. You want to win when you get in the playoffs, too.
Dealt a bad hand, though.
Ooh,
how many
it's
injuries?
Hard.
How many injuries are you supposed to overcome?
Yeah, but you know what? They still have a good enough football team where they should have won this game tonight. They were very conservative, and you got to give the Colts a lot of credit too. Let's don't look past the Colts. They played well enough to win this football game. They made it a close game, and when you give a team the ability to stay close, anything can happen. And you look at the game, how it all unfolded. The last drive, they couldn't stop them. Why? Foolish fouls. 11 penalties is way too many penalties in the game, especially if you're a playoff team.
A couple of the pass interference calls were curious at best, to say the least, if you saw the replays, particularly the ones called on J.J. Watt. We want to show you, Herm, the playoff picture now in the AFC. Houston was heading toward a bye week. That has changed, obviously, dramatically here. So the winner of the AFC North, whether it be the Ravens or the Steelers, now in line now to get one of those byes. The Patriots, of course, in line to get home field advantage if they can win out here. And the Broncos, of course, can win the division if they were to win out. If you're the Houston Texans now, Herm, I mean, what is a good matchup for you come playoff time?
Well, I mean, as far as matchup-wise, it really doesn't matter. You're going to get a good team in the playoffs. That's what makes it so unique. There's 6 teams that are entering the playoff competition. Whatever team you have to play against is going to be a good football team. This is what this league's all about, getting to the playoffs, and then a new season starts. Now, the great thing about playoff competition, no one has won a game. So you have an opportunity to do that. It really doesn't matter who you play. It's how you play the day you play.
You know, Herm, what do you think about this tonight before the game? Jim Irsay talking about Peyton Manning and his future, and his quote was, if Peyton Manning is healthy enough to play, he will be the Colts quarterback next year. What did you take from that?
Well, he's given Peyton Manning some confidence, and rightly so. We would all like for Peyton Manning to come back. Now, we'll have to see if he's going to be a Colt or not. That's a lot of talk right now, but a lot of things can change between now and the draft. We'll have to see how this unfolds. But I think what we want to see, if you're a football fan, you would like to see Peyton Manning back playing football. And if it's for the Colts, rightly so, that'd be great.
Herm Edwards joining us with his insight from Los Angeles on the victory by the Colts, the stunning win, their second in a row, this one 19-16 over Houston. Thank you, Herm.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Indianapolis? I'm not sure. We'll have to ask them. Matt Barkley, Merry Christmas, L.A. Staying at USC, Mel Kiper is going to explain why waiting to enter the draft is the right thing to do. And in college basketball, top 3 teams in the nation in action. Find out which one of them was tested.
Sports Center is brought to you by Jim Beam, who reminds you to drink smart. Up next is your very own seat at the most fun table in town. Check out the next round, served up by Jim Beam.
Welcome to the next round, served up by Jim Beam. I'm Scoop Jackson, here with 2 cats known for making bold choices. Do you think we're going to see football this year in the NFL?
What am I going to do on Sunday?
I don't know if they care about what you're going to do.
What's Michael Rappaport going to do on Sunday?
There's no way this many rich guys can walk away from this much money, but there's a part of me that hopes there isn't, so we can get another good Keanu Reeves movie out of it in about 6 years. Yeah?
Shane Falco's back. All right, bold choice. Tim Tebow. Are you on the bandwagon, or are you just like, can't go with it?
I'm definitely on the bandwagon. Tebow's definitely proven himself as a winner. He's got a lot of heart, and I think his team believes in him.
It's only so many players out there that have this
certain type of aura about him.
I just think if he's winning, leave him alone.
It's not broke.
So,
Right, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Who you pulling for? Who you rolling with?
I'm LA born and bred, man. I always got to root for the Raiders.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
I
You
got
got
you,
a Raiders
brother.
tattoo, don't you?
Not yet.
That's what they all do that on the fly.
If Mark Cuban wins the championship, blank.
I feel like we're all going to get free HD TV.
What I might talk about is the fact that Paul Pierce never has chapstick. Like, I don't, like, something, this build-up right here has to stop.
What do you call that? Like
rabies.
I was a huge Jimmer fan this year.
I was about to say Viva Jimmer right here.
I love Jimmer. Hey, it was Adam Morrison, my draft. Y'all passed on me, Charlotte.
I can't believe that. You should be ashamed. Michael Jordan picked Adam Morrison over Rudy Gay.
Mavericks or the Knicks? Who you gonna play for next year?
Oh, man. In all honesty, I'm not even trying to bluff you or fake. I really don't know.
Sounds like Knicks to me. Huh?
Right. Sounds like Knicks to me, right. For more, go to ESPN.com, search Jim Beam.
Back on SportsCenter, Bram Weinstein, Linda Cohn, and now to the team that the BCS forgot. Again, Boise State, Arizona State, the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas. Here's Kellen Moore's swan song, 49 career wins, most in FBS history. Here's his coach, Chris Peterson, what he had to say about him. He set the standard for quarterback play throughout the country for 4 years. He just hasn't flinched. He's gotten better every year. Yes, he has. And it's the last game for Dennis Erickson, Todd Graham taking over there. And how about Erickson jumping around with the Sun Devils? He wouldn't be jumping around for long. Opening kickoff. This is Doug Martin from the goal line. Finds some space, not full speed, then kind of kicks it into, I would say, third gear. Got the angle, got the stiff arm, and he is gone 100 yards for a touchdown. That's bad news the way Boise State can score on offense. Moore doesn't have to touch the ball, and Boise State's on the board. Check out the blockers lining up the lane for Martin, and just when he stopped, he sees the lane on the outside for the eventual touchdown. More pumped. 7-0 Broncos, just seconds into the game. Later in the first save score, it's Moore's turn. Looking for the shoe. Tyler Shoemaker wide open. 14-yard touchdown Broncos. But take another look here. Check out the 278-pound offensive lineman, Charles Leno, lining up as a receiver and calling for the ball. Sun Devils couldn't catch up to that. 14-0. Second quarter. Save score, 3rd and goal. Moore. Matt Miller, touchdown, back shoulder pass, perfect. Routes on, 21-0 Boise State. Later in the second, 21-3. This is Moore's brother, Kirby. Doesn't quite have the same arm as his brother, Kellen.
Not really.
Little bit of a duck.
But I'm glad he got his brother into the game.
That's Moore's dad. All right, maybe we shouldn't let Kirby throw the ball. Give it back to Kellen.
Much better.
Hey, there's Kirby. He can catch.
That's a
First
good
down.
spot.
Dad, what do you think of that one? Stoic. Not much impresses him. Later in the drive, 1st and goal, the reverse, Kyle Miller, Kyle Efaw, wide open, touchdown. Boise State pulling out all the stops. It's 28-0. Third quarter now, 4th and goal for ASU. Dennis Erickson wants to call a timeout. The refs don't see him. Neither does his team. Brock Osweiler throwing into the end zone, picked off by Jamar Taylor, and he is gone. It says here it's 100 yards for a touchdown. I'm telling you, it's more. Kellen Moore gets win number 50 in his career as he exits Boise State. It's a blowout. Afterward, Moore spoke to Tom Rinaldi.
As the clock was ticking down to 0, I saw exchange a lot of embraces with fellow teammates. What was going through your mind?
Oh, it's just been a special 4 or 5 years. A lot of people helped us get to where we were, and can't thank them enough.
How do you describe where this program was to where you leave it in the time you've been here?
Well, I think the goal is always, the progress where you are when you come in, and hopefully you elevated it and took it to a whole new level.
What are you most proud of?
Just taking advantage of opportunities and sharing this with people you care about.
You've heard the doubts. You've heard it a lot of your football playing life. You don't have the prototypical size. You don't have the prototypical arm strength necessarily. There's people who repeat those doubts to you now about the next level. What's your message to them?
I've done it before. I'll be excited about the next step, and it'll be a challenge. I'm looking forward to it.
Finally, we saw your brother throw a pass in this football game. How would you critique that?
I owe him because I was supposed to protect him.
50 wins we may never see in poker. Congratulations, Kellen.
Kellen Moore looking to play at the next level. Matt Barkley says, I'm going to put that on hold, saying he has unfinished business at USC. Barkley announced today he's not going to jump to the NFL and instead return for his senior season for a shot to lead the Trojans to a BCS Bowl.
I will earn my degree. The bonds have been forged. But I know in my heart that I have not yet finished my journey as a Trojan football player. Our USC football team has been through some tough times, and we have persevered. But the 2012 team has some serious, unfinished business to attend to, and I intend to play a part in it.
It's like Happy New Year. That was the kind of celebration when they heard that he was staying.
Colts can't have him either.
No. Only Trojans. Barkley's return to USC means he will almost certainly break every significant passing record in the school's illustrious history. He's already in the top 3 in touchdowns, yards, completions, and attempts. He trails Matt Leinart in TD passes, and Leinart and Carson Palmer in the other categories. Mel Kiper Jr. now on Barkley's decision.
For Matt Barkley, as long as he feels comfortable with the decision, you have to applaud it. Matt Barkley had 2 big options, obviously. Leaving for the NFL when you're going to be a top 10 pick, maybe even a top 5 pick, is tough to overlook, and it's tough to go back when you know what's on the horizon. He had a phenomenal year, better touchdown interception ratio than Andrew Luck. He was poised to be either the 2nd or 3rd quarterback taken, guaranteed to be in the top 10, maybe Miami, Washington, and Cleveland looking his way. Now you think about the concerns. Left tackle Matt Khalil leaving early for the NFL. You think about duplicating what he did last year. It's going to be very difficult. There's going to be a lot of challengers at the quarterback position. They're going to be coming into that mix. They're going to be competing with him to be an early first-round pick. So the pros and cons are there. I thought he would come out early and be part of the National Football League draft as a top 10 pick, but you have to applaud a kid who's going back with more experience gained, more starts, will help him be a better rookie and young quarterback in the National Football League.
Just in case you're wondering, some recent QBs to bypass the draft. Just last year, Andrew Luck passing up tons of dough to return to Stanford for his junior season. Looks to be the top pick, though, this April in the next draft. In 08, Sam Bradford could have entered the 09 draft, but he went back to Oklahoma for his junior year. He was taken 1st overall, though, in 2009. That same year, Tim Tebow chose to return to Florida for his senior season. Though not the same pro prospect, of course, that Bradford was, Tebow was still taken in the 1st round. And in 2005, Matt Leinart won the Heisman and led USC to the title. He was the presumptive #1 pick, but he returned to USC, slipping to 10th overall, losing to Vince Young, by the way.
Hey, let's go to college hoops and check out the #1 team in the land, undefeated Syracuse. Figured to get a test from Tulane, who were 11-1, off to their best start since the 91-92 season. But this is what their head coach, Ed Conroy, had to say about Syracuse. They're extremely deep. Their defense is tremendous, and it feeds the offense and gets them out in transition where their great players have space to play. Now, this could go one of 2 ways. He's either just fattening up the competition for the surprise, or he just knows that they're good. How about Fab Melo blocking Josh Davis, and then to Michael Carter-Williams, to Deion Waiters for 3. He led the Orange with 15. Then Brandon Trish gathering the Tulane miss here. Chris Joseph, Scoop Jardine on the other end. So it looks like he knew what he was talking about. Here's Conroy on the bench. James Sutherland driving through the paint. Baye Musakeda for the dunk. Why are the Green Wave wearing light blue jerseys?
Good question.
Sutherland.
Look into that for you.
How about this long 3? Part of a 19-0 run to end the first half. 13 different Orange players scored in the game. And here's the defense that Conroy was talking about. Davis going for the lay and blocked by Fab Melo. And Syracuse is 13-0 for the 3rd straight year.
Updating you on 7th ranked and undefeated Baylor taking on St. Mary's. First half action. St. Mary's down. Brad Waldo hitting the layup. And St. Mary's, just like that, will be up by 1, beating Baylor. But later in the first half, with Baylor back up, leading by 1, Perry Jones. Jones off the miss, the putback, and Baylor is up by 3. Time running out in that first half. We have a tie game. Quincy Miller right there, the turnaround. And the Bears are up there at the half. They're up by 9 with 11:45 left in the game.
This is one of the great rivalry games, the bragging rights game between Illinois and undefeated Missouri. Tigers have won the last 2. There's Phil and Matt Pressey, the Pressey brothers, controlling the game early. Mizzou down 3. Here's in the easy transition, and Phil Pressey blowing right by the defense. Easy layup. And now Missouri up by 5. Phil Pressey pushing ahead. How about that jumper? Up 7. 15 fast break points for the Tigers. Closing seconds of the first half, Pressey misses the layup. There's his brother Matt there for the follow dunk, and the Tigers rolling up by 11 at the break. To the second half we go. Illinois rallying here. Sam Maniscalco finding Myers-Leonard, the 7-footer underneath for the alley-oop dunk. It's 50-39. Back come the Illini, down 5. Joseph Bertrand driving, reverse layup. That's good. Illinois now down by just 3. Under a minute 40 to go, we're tied. Ricardo Ratliff forces the turnover on the entry pass. Kim English finishes on the break. 3-point play. Now, Illinois gets this. They held Mizzou under 80, first to do this year. But would they get the win? No. Under 20 seconds left, Phil Pressey drives. He finishes. Missouri is undefeated. They're off to their best start since 81-82. Speaking of incredible starts, how about the Hoosiers off to their best start since the 75-76 season? That team ended 32-0. This group probably not, but what a great start, 11-0 for Indiana and ranked. They're up 35-14 on UMBC. Victor Oladipo to Cody Zeller, the freshman leading the Hoosiers in scoring. He only played 26 minutes because of this route, scored 13 points, and then the 3 was falling. Indiana leads the nation in three-point percentage coming into the game. They added to that percentage. They're up 10 here in the second half. It's Jordan Hulls with a long 3. That's good. He went 3 for 7 from 3. Now Christian Watford with the Hoosiers up 16 from the spot that he beat Kentucky. Then a few minutes later, they're up 22. It's Watford again. He went 4 for 8 from 3. And then 2 possessions later, check this out. Take a look at where Matt Roth is. From there, way downtown, 4 for 5 from 3. Indiana rolls 89-47. They had 11 three-pointers in the game. More NFL on the way. Jerry Rice on how Tim Tebow and the Broncos bounce back from losing to the Patriots. Plus, what Keyshawn says the Cowboys need to do to get past the Eagles. And much more on Matt Barkley staying another season at USC, why Kirk Herbstreit wasn't surprised by the decision, and the chances that Barkley leads the Trojans to a title.
Contact your provider to learn how to get ESPN 3D.
All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they see that I'm free. All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they
The SoundLink wireless mobile speaker. Bluetooth connectivity. Grab-and-go portability. With deep, rich sound you can only get from Bose.
To those who've received both the full-size room and 36-mile-per-gallon highway of the La Crosse with e-assist, enjoy. To those who sacrificed one for the other, there's still time. During the Buick Holiday event, sign and drive this 2012 La Crosse for $318 per month with nothing due at signing. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
Sometimes a man must venture out from the shallow end to find something truly worthy of his search. Inspired by 300 years of tradition, Kettle One. Gentlemen, this is vodka. Drink responsibly.
Everyone believes in keeping their promises once a year, but we believe in helping people take steps to keep them every single day. That's why every day we help people across the country get into their first homes, prepare for a comfortable retirement, and protect the people and things that matter most. At Genworth, we believe every day is the right day to take a step toward tomorrow.
Unwrap big games on Christmas Day. First, the Heat and Mavs meet in a finals rematch. Then, Derrick Rose leads the Bulls into LA to battle the Lakers. Coverage of Heat Mavs begins at 2 Eastern. Then Bulls-Lakers at 5 on ABC.
So if I find lower prices at another store, you'll match it?
We'll match it. Be okay?
I'm just saying goodbye to all other stores.
That's how you do it?
That's how I do it.
If you happen to find a lower price, we'll match it. That's more Christmas for your money, guaranteed.
This Christmas,
We can't even see these things.
the invasion begins.
Electricity gives it away.
2019, Christmas Day.
We will experience a 30-minute delay. Thank you for your patience.
When you just can't wait for Rocky Mountain cold refreshment, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Saturday, catch a special edition of Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Keyshawn Johnson, Mike Ditka, Chris Carter, and the insiders, Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter, provide all the news and the latest updates from the stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM on ESPN Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Time now for some cold, hard facts.
It's time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, the six-pack of questions with the gang from Audibles. We begin with Keyshawn Johnson. Now, Jerry Jones admitted he was scared of the Philadelphia Eagles after that Week 8 beatdown. What do the Cowboys need to do to make sure that the owner is not scared this time?
Well, he was trying to play mind games with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think that they're scared. I think that they just have to figure out how to stop guys on their offense. Stop McCoy, Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Macklin, Selleck. That's a lot, and I don't know that they'll be able to do that because defensively, they don't have the personnel to match up with the Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be interesting. I'm going to be watching closely, much like you.
We all will be.